You can kill me, but you will never destroy me. It takes strength to resist the dark side.
Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one.
Are you kidding? Why the hell should I wait for you?
I know what it's like to try and rebuild a life. I had a bad day too, once.
If you're having nightmares, then welcome to the club. My name's Subaru Natsuki, and I am the Knight of Amelia.
Right now, all I can give you is just death.
It wasn't for you in particular.
You fought 100 men because it's not in your nature to run away.
If you are feeling disheartened, that you are somehow not enough, set your heart ablaze.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to I don't know. This is going to be it's going to be interesting tonight. So, it is the end of summer. It is open mic night. Like I said, the chat gets their chance to voice their opinions and bitch at me as we talk about how we felt about the season. When I say bitch at me, I mean bitch at me directly. With that said, though, the plan tonight is to talk about, summer anime and go over how we felt about a lot of these things. After that, we will be doing a little bit of talking about some of the upcoming anime, and there are two things to that. There are a couple that have already debuted, so we'll be talking about a couple of first episode, and then after that, we will be looking at everything that is going to be coming after that. Everything that's going to be coming up this fall. So, with that said, to those of you who are here, I'm going to establish a few, rules. Like, obviously, there is the be polite, don't be a dickhead and get me demonetized or, like, my channel taken down because you say slurs. Rolo, you're out there. Otherwise, just make sure that, like, your name is at least, recognizable when you join in here. That would be the only thing I would say is if I can't recognize you from chat and you try to join in, there isn't a guarantee that I, bring you in and everything. But other than that, you mean like we do on mine? Anyway, with that said, we're going to bring this up. We're going to bring this up. Here. I should have had this ready, but I was doing a bunch of other stuff. And then we are going to do this. We're going to come over here and potentially make a huge mistake. There we go. So, for those of you who want to join in and talk about summer anime and stuff, the link is now live. That being said, though, I guess we can just roll with it. Let me shift everything around here a little bit. Get everything all sorted out. And so to start tonight, I will talk a little bit. I did end up binging and finishing Bunny Girl Senpai. I'm not so much worried about people getting called slurs. I'm more so worried about the fact that the slurs could cause problems for my channel. But that's another issue entirely. Anyway. So we'll talk a little bit about the things that have come out this week. We'll talk a little bit while we wait for everyone to, sort of pile in. And that's honestly going to start right here with Secrets of the Silent Witch. We get to meet another one of the sages. Yes, you can go get alcohol. All right, here we go. How you doing, Jeremy? Good to have you back. Can you hear us?
What's going on, dude?
You might want to pull your mic a little bit away from your face here because
Gotcha.
it sounded a little bit like you were breathing into it.
Sorry about
And
that.
we have Brain Damage joining the chat with us tonight. Instant favorite character, the Mommy Witch. Yes, the Starseer Witch from the Silent Witch. She is definitely an interesting character, especially when her response to a very dangerous magical item being stolen is somebody stole it. Oh no.
Yeah. It's okay. Still amazing. I still love it. And because you said we're starting with this, I was like, all right, let me jump in and then I'll go get alcohol and then get drunk on stream later.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Silent Witch goes, like I have been very impressed. A lot of people like refer to it as Bocchi the Witch and everything, and I haven't seen Bocchi the Rock, so I wouldn't know.
I call it Anime of the Year runner-up. Sorry, Apothecary Diaries is so good that it can't be beat, but I really like Silent Witch.
Yeah, it was so good, like all season, and talking about coming out of nowhere. Like this wasn't on anyone's radar, I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like that's the theme of summer, though. Like, there's so many of these that were on here that just like kind of came out of nowhere.
Dude, I absolutely
like I hadn't
love how
heard
they
anything
dress.
about this one or this one. Ruri Rocks kind of came out of nowhere. Like I knew it was coming, but like I didn't expect it to be this good. This one I knew was coming, didn't expect it to be this good. Same with this Clevites. I almost skipped when we were doing the spring open mic thing. Everyone was like saying like, oh, you shouldn't skip that. You shouldn't skip that. I'm glad I didn't.
So Silent Witch, man, they dressed her up as a squirrel. I love how they brought back the squirrel thing. She's like, is this a horse? They're like, squirrel. Yeah, it's definitely a squirrel.
This hood, it has horse ears. You are a squirrel. Yep, a squirrel. Most definitely a squirrel.
Earlier, how she was talking about like how she cherishes those nuts that she dropped on the floor and he picked them up for her. So it's like she really is a squirrel. She's like saving them for the winter.
I cherish them much more than any of this fine accessorizing you can give me.
They should change the anime's name to Silent Squirrel. Ooh, that's what my video name's going to be, the Silent Squirrel.
Isn't Silent Squirrel like a call sign for like Spec Ops or something like that? Like
I don't know, but Secret Squirrel is an awesome secret agent from cartoons back when I was little. I think it actually came out before I was little, but I watched it like crazy.
Yeah, this is definitely one that has like it had a really good first episode and continued to live up to my expectations. I need to go back through this with the sub and like get a compilation of just Monica noises to put together for an outro for the show.
Dude, Monica,
especially after this episode, just like the
so Crimson and I are going to be doing a award show because fuck the awful show that Crunchyroll does, and we are going to have a Monica Award, and everyone in that category wins, and it's literally for like the most adorable characters in anime, and we also have one that throws a stick at you from the Villainous game that we have. So we have two people that are winning so far. It's Monica, and I think her name's CL or something like that, and she throws sticks at you.
She's like an entirely support character, right? And her only attack is to throw a stick at you for 1 damage.
Yeah.
So and I have to throw out there, based on your all's recommendations, I started binging through Ugly Mug like this week, since everything had slowed down. And the angel girl from that one is she's a runner-up for the Monica Award. Like they are basically the same character too. So
yeah, Psycha might have.
Seika deserves a Monica award.
Yeah, she's very much right in that vein, and I was, I feel like that didn't get mentioned a lot in the chats. So
well, we can go over that when we get there. But like with the silent again to cover like the Silent Witch, I think there's still one episode left on this one.
Yeah, one more, 13.
Like it's going to be outstanding until the middle of the next week or the end of next week.
Friday.
Like this is just one where like I expected it to like be, I don't know, kind of like a middling, like sort of like magic school sort of thing. Like a lot of this is a very popular setting for writers out of Japan to use for some reason. However, this one did it in a way that I actually found pretty entertaining. And it's not like Monica isn't without her character development as well. Like over time, you've seen her, like she hasn't like perfectly overcome her shyness, but like at the same time, she still has worked through some of it, and she is able to talk to people properly, at least to some extent.
Mm-hmm. And she's definitely getting some confidence. Like she goes to look for the prince after she spots him, and I love how it starts like doing the math, and like she's like doing all his measurements. She's like, His Highness, right?
She recognizes him by his measurement.
Her proportion, like the leg to torso proportion. That got me. Like,
and then when she's like counting the numbers, the song with all the pigs starts playing in the background.
Oh, that's another thing that I had to laugh at. Like, go get this girl a costume. They dress her up as a stripper.
And the look on her face after she's in this outfit, it's like you thought she was mumble stumble before that, like throughout the whole episode. Like she was just mortification, just pure mortification. It was glorious.
It was very funny to see that. At the same time, Biggles, I think I sent you the 1 hour version of that song at some point.
You did. You put it in the chat,
Just
and I watched it. I listened to the whole thing. It was
that. There's been a lot of good jokes about this show, but like, its humor is a really good part of it. But like, at the core, you still have a good character with a good arc. A good side cast who benefits from this show's sense of humor, as well as just a good core story as you're kind of looking over. Like, I don't think we've fully gotten into everything that is going on with this series. I feel like you're probably going to be getting into like a much deeper story after this point.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the very least, we've still gotten like a decent like idea of the direction that it's going to take. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good way to sum up how Monica has been this season. She has some proper character development without becoming a different person. She has her still has her quirks. We love her for, yes. She still is kind of awkward around people, but it's not like she is absolutely like full on trying to run from every social interaction.
We rioted in Arceus's chat over and both of them saying they didn't like Monica. We're like, kill this man. No, I'm just kidding. This is ridiculous.
It was pretty funny. It was just like, oh damn, hold on a second. Like all of Crimson's chat somehow and Biggles' chat have somehow shown up into my chat, and all of them are saying exactly the same thing. I guess
Pitchfork's ready like he's Frankenstein's monster. We're going to take him down.
realize that if anyone talks to him, to emphasize the necessity to watch this in the sub, not the dub, because the dub is so much worse, especially for Monica, because like Monica's the best character.
And her voice is a very essential part of her character.
Yeah, and it's just not the same not the same in the dub.
Which is true for a lot of characters, but it's more so true with Monica because the way she talks in the sub versus the dub completely changes how you perceive her character.
So I really like the dub actress for Monica, but not in this. I've said this before. The dub character, the dub character speaks with too much confidence, and that's Monica doesn't really have confidence, even though she's like the most powerful out of all the mages because she can cast silent. But Monica is very confident, like when she's talking numbers, and when you hear that in the voice, it like brings more to it in the sub, and in the dub where she's confident like all the time, even when she's being shy, it comes off weird and not as good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Monica's well, it's not just numbers, but also with like magic and stuff. You put her into like a situation where she needs to use magic. She's very competent, very effective. Put her in a situation where she's got to talk about numbers. She's very passionate and excited and starts oversharing, like Marin Kitagawa in that first episode. But in any other situation, she like clams up because she doesn't really know like the limit to anything. She's very like skittish with every other subject, and that's kind of the quirkiness that we were talking about that makes her an enjoyable character. And it's those different sides, like seeing that she is capable of getting things done, while at the same time you still have that like must protect sort of side to her.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just laughing. That's it.
Well, and I was just like, I wanted to emphasize like what this show does that has to do when you're already in kind of a trope setting. You breeze past it, but I really want to like drive it home. It's like it's the surrounding cast. Every single member of the surrounding satellite characters they're not one-dimensional by any stretch of the imagination. They get flushed out without having their own episodes. Like it's funny because it's just all the things that we bitch about with the other animes that we watch this season. There aren't a whole lot of complaints with this one. Like this one kind of like, oh no, that isn't an issue with this one. Oh, that's not an issue with this one. Like and I think that's just a sign of a good show.
I think the biggest complaints I've heard or could level myself. For me, the biggest complaint would be I feel like this deserved a better animation budget, like an even better animation budget, because it's that good of a show.
Mm-hmm.
And it deserves a season 2. But the biggest complaint that I've heard from other people is that they don't like Monica as a character because they remind them too much of Bocchi the Rock, and they do not like Bocchi.
Well, those people are dumb. That's all I have to say.
Well, I mean that's a certain blabbering collector, but
well, Blabs. Listen.
We all know Blabs is retarded.
It's Blabs.
It's Blabs, yes.
I'm not going to say anything bad about Blabs, but it's Blabs. Okay, so there we go.
And again, like, can't be emphasized enough. It's like Blabs also probably watched the dub, you know, and like knowing her, and not that's a bad thing or like throwing shade, but like. There's like precisely one show I go out of my way to watch the dub for, and we'll talk about that later when we're talking about upcoming animes for next season. So,
okay, so you were talking about characters earlier, and you want to protect Monica, and I think there's 2 characters in this that want to protect Monica more than anybody else, and I feel like you can add the prince and Lord Ashley in there as well, after that chess guy proposed. But Lana, her friend Lana, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then our villainess Isabella, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I will kill you. Like, you get away from her right now.
How you doing, man? Yeah, the whole show is just great, especially with like the protect Monica sort of moments where like you have the 2 familiars doing it, you have like every male member of the cast doing it. Like anyone gets like too close to to Monica, they're all like, all right, you need to step away, sir. Like full on like get away from my woman kind of stuff. And then, of course, like you said, with Lana, the best friend, like there's just, as far as this show goes, I feel like comparing it to Bocchi the Rock is kind of the wrong thing, because while the character archetype might be similar, I don't know enough about Bocchi the Rock. I feel like she's different enough. Like she is like she ends up being like a more confident character overall. Like someone who actually has a better development than what I've seen of Bocchi.
Yeah, I didn't make it through the whole first season of Bocchi. Not because I thought it was bad. There's only so many like chick band animes. You can, and it just there's a lot of just lack of resonance for me. So like, but it was seemed well done. It was competently produced, but I mean, I can see a little bit of the comparison, but I like everything else that's going on in Silent Witch. So, and that's where I would like to tell it was like, even if you don't like it, just give it a shot, because
there are a bunch of other good supporting elements to the Silent Witch that make it absolutely worth watching, I think.
Yeah.
And I think episode 4 is where they showed off like the animation that they did have, right? Because that episode was the one with the letting out mana, right?
I believe so. I don't think that's its best demonstration of animation. I think whenever Monica summons the gate is probably when it gets best, and that's like in the first episode, and then later on when she's messing with the barrier, she summons the Spirit King or whatever like that.
Oh yeah, she summoned the gate in the first episode. That's right. I forgot.
That first episode got me, dude. I was like, oh wow, okay, this is gonna be a good one. And I was not disappointed. I loved this show all the way through.
Let's put it at first. Right past Dawn to Dawn. Let's do it.
You would
Let's
put
do
it at first. This is
first.
still a top 5 of the season for me, but it's going to remain at number 5. Pretty much every one of these up here is kind of where it's going to be. I'm going to do a little bit of moving around now. I have some perspective on some of these things over like the course of the whole season. I'm basically going to go through here and reorganize this about like how I feel about these things overall now. But Silent Witch, I think, has pretty solidly earned that number 5 spot for the season for me. And with that, Biggles, if you want to go get your alcohol, now would be a good time, because I'm going to start with talking about Dandadan and everything.
Oh yeah. We've talked about this plenty of times. So yeah, I'll be back.
Well, we'll start working our way down the list then. So, insofar as Dandadan goes, I was absolutely satisfied. I was completely happy with the way that they adapted this season. I know a lot of people complained about like Evil Eye and everything because the Evil Eye arc isn't as compelling, but I also think that overall Evil Eye's arc was one of the least compelling arcs in the series. There are much better things, especially now that we've been introduced to our new alien girl, Vamola. And that the space globalist stuff is going to be good. Everything that comes in like Act 2, I guess I'll call it, is really good. But like just with like minor details. So like starting from the beginning, I really liked that they added more detail to Evil Eye's backstory in the first couple of episodes. Like they actually gave you a clear understanding of how he became the Evil Eye.
Is that a departure from the manga? Like that fleshed out?
Yeah, that's actually something that was done better in the anime than in the manga.
Okay.
In the manga, they don't give you as clear of a picture. They kind of show you like Evil Eye's progression through like all the phases of the house, like all the phases of the haunted house in the anime. They don't show that in the manga. But moving on from there, like one of the most impressive parts of this season, I think, was the Hayashi performance. And I thought that was going to be like a complete like throwaway thing. Oh, someone's here. Just in time for Dandadan. How you doing, Muffler Tape?
Yo, what up? Wanted to be here for it. I tried to avoid the earlier conversation just because that's an anime on my list I haven't watched yet, Silent Witch and stuff. So I'm going to get around to it, guys. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll work our way down the list here. Anyway, Hayashi performance, where I was at, like I thought, like when it comes to music in anime, I find it like from the bulk that I have watched, much rarer for them to do as high effort of an adaptation as they did for this. Because in a lot of cases, like studios just don't like show like singing scenes. You got one in My Hero Academia where they adapted the whole song and everything. I thought that was pretty unique. This one though, I feel like is like they went above and beyond for getting that Hayashi performance. And it was a great way to conclude that whole thing.
So yeah, I'm gonna like piss in your cornflakes just a little bit, only because last season I watched Rock as a Lady's Modesty, like all the way through, and that was all that. So I didn't find it quite as impressive. I mean, it was cool and the song was good and yeah, it was super enjoyable. It just like it was like, to your credit, like it was very well animated. It wasn't all CG fest the way that one was. Like it was very impressive. It was also, but it was just like, I think that's like, you know, you really like, it's like I kind of seen a lot of this. It's not just quite as much maybe, and just because it was fresh. So
perhaps I think the good perspective on that would be you've watched a lot more like actual like music centered anime than I have.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen this much more often. But in stuff like shonens and all that, or like an adventure series where they have a scene where people are singing or whatever, or just like a normal slice of life, like most karaoke scenes in like slice of life anime will like you'll get something like just that's just kind of like some freeze frames of people singing with some like basic music over the top of it. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm using for. You point out that there are plenty of music anime out there that do it. Yeah, you're probably right, and I'm probably wrong to say that it's rare. Either way, I'm still very satisfied with the Hayashi performance because because this was a shonen, more action focused. I did not expect them to do a full song and get actual performers to come in and do this whole thing. But from there, we kind of move into like the kaiju arc, and that was I
guess
that was pretty good.
Before you transition real quick too, just to like set an expectation for everybody, the fact that they put so much effort into the Hayashi performance is actually a good thing potentially for later parts of the story as well. Because it shows that they're willing to put in the effort to make it a good experience for the watchers. So I think that, you know, maybe this one didn't, you know, blow your socks off, but maybe in a couple seasons you're going to see something that, you know, may also impress you at some later point is kind of the idea. Yeah.
This one's Science Saru, right? That's the studio that their studio Saru. Like, and the thing I found is like I don't think you guys will like. I think you'll appreciate what I'm going to say, but it's like it's a relatively simple art style in this anime that they find ways over and over and over again to blow you away but within the art style. Like where like Demon Slayer takes a very again somewhat like simple, crude art style, and then found a way to like kind of turn it on its head with the backgrounds and everything else and like that are going on. This is in that same vein where it's like they took what they had and found a way to somehow make it greater than the sum of its parts, you know, and so I think it was more of just like it was like, oh yeah, cool, like I watched the music part, I thought it was really good. I didn't even think of it. I had no appreciation for it on the level that you guys did, but like other than it's very competently done. It all looks good. It was not a CG fest. I appreciated that. So
I think the one complaint I could lodge against Dandadan's animation, since we're on the topic, is just the one scene where they used a bunch of real food for the table.
Well, yeah, it's a cop out, but it's also like a funny gag joke because I think the anime is very much for the manga readers because the animation style itself, like to your point, is not as complex or as fleshed out, I guess, at times compared to the manga itself. And the way Tatsu does his artwork is so over the top at times that it's like, well, there's no way anybody's going to be able to animate this on any type of budget unless it's like the most major studio possible with unlimited funds and stuff, right? So they can make it funny. And that's what they do. They go like super crude for joke purposes on to what, you know, Crimson was saying. They'll use a real image of food as like a joke and stuff too. So I think it's really interesting that the fact that they know it's not possible, so they're just going to make a joke about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to round out the Dandadan discussion, like the kaiju arc, this is one of like those like mini arcs that I really did enjoy because it basically is the kickoff point for like one of the biggest, most pivotal arcs for this whole series with Space Globalists. I really like what they did with Quinta. They gave a bunch more context to that fight and everything. There were a lot of interesting references. Like I mentioned, someone pointing out that they copied some of the choreography from Pacific Rim for that fight. I thought that was a cool little touch. They're doing a whole mech versus kaiju thing. Like, it might as well go for one of the like the big name mech versus kaiju sort of thing that's out there. They also like just the music, the animation for it, like, and knowing about like what's going on with this fight scene just makes it all the more funny. Like, especially with like the whole kaiju suit and everything, it's just like one giant inflatable dinosaur is basically what they're fighting.
But isn't that this whole story and like show in a nutshell? Is it's just like whatever the most batshit explanation possible, it is beyond that. Like, and it's just like every single time. Like, I have not read any of this one, but I have thoroughly enjoyed the anime. And it's just because it's like, what sort of batshit stuff are they doing this week? That's it. You know.
The anime has done a pretty good job to the point where, like, the only reason you would need to read the manga is because you're sitting there itching for more and you don't want to wait for season 3 to come out. There isn't anything in there that has been like super crucial skipped content. So
that's true.
That's why I put this at my like number 1 slot for the season. Like, Dandadan, both seasons have been absolutely phenomenal adaptations. Like, there are very few things that I have a problem with. And I get that it's not like a lot of it. It's not like everyone's taste. I can understand some people's complaints about it. Like not liking characters or not being able to get into the zaniness of it. I understand that because sometimes I am the same way. And not everyone shares my taste. But this one is like right up my alley for like striking that good balance between like being serious with the story it's telling and also being able to incorporate those more like ridiculous elements.
Nope, 100%.
Yep.
Anyone got anything else to say, or do we want to move on to My Dress Up Darling, the controversial one for the season? The second controversial one for the season.
That's like not even remotely controversial for me.
I was going to say Nukatashi, not the controversial one. Like,
well, I only say that because Dandadan and My Dress Up Darling are the two that got like the most attention from, like, I guess you could say the tourist group.
Just wait. Eventually it'll come around and it'll be real funny to hear their reactions. They'll just be like, what just aired last season? It's like, yeah, grow up.
Yeah, like they complained about all the fan service in My Dress Up Darling and everything, but like no one talked about Nukitashi.
Yep.
No one said a fucking thing about Nukitashi. Or Gachiakuta for that matter, which kind of had similar things going on.
Yeah.
But as far as My Dress Up Darling goes, this is one where like I understand people's criticism of like this story isn't as focused in season 2. But I think one of the big parts of it is that My Dress Up Darling has a particular structure. And this is, again, something that I'm going to have to go into more detail in like a video format for, because I'm able to actually write my thoughts out there and like make my points much more clear and elaborated. But the middle part of My Dress Up Darling really focuses heavily on just the theme of being able to do the things you're passionate about without worrying about what other people think of you. It does that very well because it brings in characters like Amano, whose whole thing is like he does a bunch of cross-dressing cosplays.
Yep.
And he had a girlfriend who thought it was really weird and gross, and he just dumped her because of it. Like, I've been doing this since long before you showed up in my life, and if that's going to be a problem, I'm not going to stop being who I am just to please you. And I think that's a pretty like good message to have, I guess, is you don't necessarily need to be going out of your way to please everyone. If you can't, like, obviously there are certain things that maybe you shouldn't do to people, but if you have to change like the things that you love and just like pretend like you don't care about them around people, you're not really being yourself with these people. You can't really call them friends. So that's where we get to a lot of like the side character stuff with the school and everything. Like being like Gojo being able to see that it's not just Marin, so it isn't that like insular singular relationship that he's holding on to. And there's a wider support network for him. There are a bunch of people who actually like do want to have his back.
Well, and like so, like dead on that one is that this whole middle part of the arc. You were talking about the adaptation for Dan to Dan. MDUD is one that I've read and actually reread fairly regularly because I just absolutely love this manga, like, and the whole story and everything else. And this season did nothing but fill out and add to like the gloriousness that like is this story. That said, this section of the story is slow, and really what you're getting is like the cross-dress or the cross-player is a he mirrors Gojo's story. The two like all three of the college girls are mirrors for Marin's story, and what it's doing when Crimson, Yumi, and Arceus were bantering on Twitter about it was like the reason like I have always contended that this is Gojo's story because it's him getting his world opened up by meeting Marin, and then this is the stage where it's like, oh yeah, no, it's like, and these other people are the same thing, and it's like, and it's just, and they have the same stories just as you, and they've the same experiences, and it just keeps growing as the time goes on. So
yeah, and one of the things that's really that and I'll get into a little bit of the criticism here to give some credence to it, but first I do also want to say it isn't the girls don't just parallel like mirror Marin. They're also like there to sort of like deal with some of the other like tangentially related issues. Like you get the whole thing with Juju worrying about giving up her like cosplaying hobby for because she's getting older, and like, oh well, you're an adult, you can't do these things anymore. And that's where you get characters like Akira and some of the other girls who are like, no, you don't have to give it up just because you're older. Like you can like what you like. That was another thing that was in this season that I really did like, that message of like, you don't like one of my favorite quotes to use is, I think I shared it on screen here with the C.S. Lewis quote of when I grew up, I gave up childish things, including the idea that I had to give up including the idea of being a grown-up.
Yeah.
Basically, like being having fun and enjoying things shouldn't be just a childish idea. Or having a hobby shouldn't just be a childish thing. Like if you enjoy fairy tales or cartoons or whatever, you enjoy fairy tales and cartoons or whatever, you should just own it. But to give a little bit of credence to the people who have criticized this, saying that it is slow or that like it just wasn't as good or anything like this, I think that's a fair assessment actually. And I don't think manga readers like myself helped with the impression. I think there was quite a bit of like overhype that went into this because manga readers knew what they were getting into. They kind of knew already the sort of general flow of everything that was going to happen. People who were anime only probably didn't have that same experience. And this being dramatically different, much like to liken it to something I know people have watched, Vinland Saga, where season 1 and season 2 are much different. This is not quite to that level, but they kind of do look very different at a surface level.
I can respect that.
And the cosplays themselves, like I think one of like Marcel's big thing over the course of the season is like the lack of fan service. And it's like where none within reason could be a fan servicey thing, it's not in this at all, and that's a third of the season, is that cosplay. So it's like Haniel doesn't really get much better. There's a couple moments here and there, but
but as we get into that part of the story, like I still have a volume of My Dress Up Darling I got to read up there, but as we get into that part of the story, it's really more so like closing out the Gojo and Marin stuff as it focuses more on them. So like this big middle part sort of expands the whole thing, and then like once you get through like the end of season 2, basically you move into the Haniel stuff. That is basically like the closeout to the series, like tying a bunch of plot threads up and stuff like that, making sure you get your ending that you wanted. Season 3, I don't know if it's going to fit everyone's taste, because again, I don't know if you're going to get as much fan service as you did in season 1, particularly because over the course of this whole thing, Marin becomes much more conservative around Gojo, because now she's actually starting to be like flustered and like feel embarrassed around the guy as she's like more and more in love with him. But it will definitely focus much more heavily on just those two characters as you get into this part. And I don't bring up the criticism all the time just to like hammer home why everyone's wrong. I bring it up because I think it's like actually a good thing to like discuss when it comes to anime. It's like I think people do have legitimate reasons to maybe not like this one as much, and that's fun.
And to Arceus's question, like season 3, like if you are a fan of Gojo in this series, he probably gets the vast majority of his character development really hit home in this next cosplay. Like, it is amazing, like what he goes through, like as far as like an impact on him. And like, so there's and it's, I would say, satisfying. I think it'll be satisfying. I don't know if you'll love it, but like I think you will be satisfied at the end of the 3rd season.
I feel like the 3rd season though would be able to basically wrap up the whole series.
It should. Like I don't think they have enough content not to, because I'm looking at it on the spine of book 11 is the nun cosplay. So, and there, I think it stops at 15. I think there's 2 more still to be released.
Yeah.
So
there's like 100 and something chapters is all, so it's just over 100 from what I can tell.
Yeah. So it's not a ton of material that's left.
Mm-hmm.
But like what they did in this season, surprisingly though, like they covered a lot more volumes, but the manga gets a lot more technical as it goes on and like into nitty gritty. But what they did this season that I loved and I can't stop gushing about was like all of the animatic, or like, you know, like when they did a clip of the show, and in the manga it's a panel or it's like with some dialogue bubbles on it, but then they actually did like a minute and a half of the show when they're watching a show on the phone, and it was just so cool. Like it is something that like it brought that to life, and that's reading it feels a little bit more detached, I feel like. And they did a really good job in the anime.
The anime did a really good job of making all of these things feel like fully fleshed out parts of the world. They weren't throwaway elements. And that's another thing, like fiction within fiction, that's a lot of times like people will just kind of like half-ass that. With My Dress Up Darling, they actually do the writer actually does a good job of like, or at least the anime did a good job of making it feel like they actually belonged in there. Other than that, like I've always enjoyed this one, particularly because I kind of feel like Gojo was a little bit of me at one point, but and like just there's a universal message there. But like again, like I say, not everything is for everyone, and just because I like something does not mean that everyone else has to. I don't expect that to be the case, especially with the number of anime that I watch and some of the garbage that I like. Like nobody I know watched City this season, but I love that. Like unironically, I thought it was hilarious.
Gonna have to, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to. It is brain rot, but it is my brand of brain rot, dude.
Was City on Amazon? Is that the one that? Where was that one? Well, okay, fair enough.
I just know it's KyoAni. You know, it's Kyoto Animation, which people really respect a lot. So that's one of those things. I've got it on my list too. But I just wanted to ask real quick before you switch subjects to a different anime. So with regards to My Dress Up Darling, so I watched season 1 and then I moved to the manga. And I got current with the manga for a period of time where there was, and I think it was like monthly releases almost, I want to say, where I was reading it for a while and then I just dropped off. And the period where I dropped off, and I'm going to keep this vague, but the childhood friend, you know, like that's when she was introduced. And I watched, or I read a little bit after that. So we're not to that point in the story yet, are we?
That would be season 3.
Okay.
That's probably... Like I've got volume 13 on my stack here, and that would be either in that volume 13 or volume 14. It's closer to the end of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 14 because I've read 13, and you're being very vague intentionally, and it's not ringing a whole lot of bells for me. And I'm
one that made fun of him.
Yeah, no, I am not. She has not come back yet. And so I get this. I'm very straight-laced when it comes to all of this stuff. If I can't buy it, you know, or legally acquire. I tend not to branch out too far across the seven seas for stuff. So I am waiting.
It's fine. I respect it.
14 is on pre-order. I will know what happens when it shows up.
Well, same with me when it comes to manga. Like I generally tend to buy all of my manga if I want to read it, because I feel like at the very least, the mangaka can use the support.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that anyone else have anything to say on My Dress Up Darling, or are we good to move on to another goated anime from this season?
No, I'm good on my end, man. I it's on my list. I'm gonna get caught back up with it again. I checked out the manga, and at the time I'm pretty confident that there wasn't any like official translations after a certain point too. Normally I just go through like Manga Plus and stuff, because I do try to let them know that, hey, there's interest in this property, bring this property, stuff like that. But sometimes, depending on the publication where it is over in Japan, that just doesn't exist.
Right.
So that's unfortunate.
Did Biggles have to go to like Mordor or something to get a freaking beer or whatever? Like, what the heck, man? That dude just vanished. Okay. Anyway, so Clevitas would be the next one on here, and this is what. Speak of the devil.
I am so annoyed. I went to get my beer, right? And I was like, you know what? I don't have any of my bottle openers. They're all packed up. So I was like, all right, I'll just get Miller Lite, right? So I go and get Miller Lite, and I choose the line with one person in it. Well, I'm sitting in that line for 10 minutes. That person had 2 items. They go, or a very, very sweet lady, and she said, please don't talk bad about me. So I will not talk bad about this lady. She was very sweet. She kept saying sorry, but she's like, well, no, they're supposed to be $4.97 a piece, and there's 4 of them. And I was like, all right, so that's $19.88 would be what it is. And it was showing up for $36. So they went in and changed the amount. And then they wanted to add their coupons, but apparently it redeemed the points but didn't take off the money. And I literally sat there for another like 10 minutes waiting for the manager to get there to just click 2 buttons and apply this discount. And I was just like, man, I suck.
So my comment about you having to go to Mordor to find your beer wasn't that
you were not off. Yeah, I was about to say, like, Mordor was right.
Like, and get this, right? So you see how my hair's kind of wet? I would have beat the storm had I not been waiting in line for 15 fucking minutes. And now I'm just like, soaking wet from head to toe.
All right. Well, you're here just in time to start talking about Clevitas, because that's the next one on the list.
Oh, sweet.
And boy, if we want to talk about what fantasy should be, Clevitas is
dark fantasy should be.
I mean, just in general, I'm talking about like the ideal sort of storytelling. Clevitas is the kind of like high effort writing that I would want to see out of just about any fantasy series. Like it takes some like fairly basic tropes and ideas, like magic swords, monsters, all that stuff, and it's just like overall, it does them so well that it makes the whole thing appealing to me. And then like the storytelling for it, you get a lot of really good lore, and I won't go like too far into it because I don't want to spoil a ton, but like it starts really well, it sets up the world, and then it spends a lot of time like having you like get to know the characters through like small things. So you learn a little bit more about Clevitas, you get like character development for him, where like he may be like this monster that's looking to like do whatever he pleases with humanity. But at the same time, he can be like really inspirational for whatever reason.
He also has more humanity than the humans in this world. Like,
yeah. And I don't understand why you have such a problem with the baby, because the baby might as well be an object. It isn't like,
well, except for the last episode.
Yeah. It isn't like fucking Grogu, where the entire plot is like based on everything that the baby does.
This is a 50-year-old R-slur, right? Is that what I'm supposed to say on this channel? Can't say what we say on mine.
I don't know. Anyway, when it comes to like Clevitas, it's just like that, especially with that last episode. I feel like storytelling is the big one.
What's that laughing in the background?
That sounded like you.
It wasn't me. I don't have anything laughing. No one
No,
laughs at anything.
it sounded like Biggles was the one that was laughing in the background. That was the weird thing.
Yeah, it sounded like someone was playing the stream.
Oh.
Anyway, I like
that was my headphones. Sorry.
The storytelling and the lore drops we got in the last 3 episodes, especially with like that fight scene against Drell and everything, all of that combined to like a really good end to that first season. And like the immediate announcement of season 2, awesome. Loved it.
It was a good one.
Dude, I think I'm not going to go into quite as long as a Biggles story time, but Game of Thrones took me like 2 years to watch, to finally get into, because it's just like super intense 50-minute episodes, and I don't know if I want that level of intensity when I'm like trying to relax, like just like shut my brain down and like watch something. This show has found the perfect balance of how to do dark fantasy in a way that's like super digestible. And I don't know what it was about it. Like I can't put my finger on it, but at no point did I ever like what was the weird sci-fi one that you guys were watching last season with your painter girl in the first episode, Crimson, the one that you loved with the ball in the sky?
Kowloon Generic Romance.
Yeah.
I ended up dropping that one, I think at like episode 7 or something, because it was just like it got to be too much. And it was Lord of Mysteries this season. It was like, I just don't know that I want to have to focus that hard. Like I'm trying to relax. Like I watch this stuff to have fun and relax. And like I can appreciate something being very good, but then it also not being my thing. Like I like trash isekai. Like all of the crap that you dropped and decided not to watch or watch later, I watched all that shit. That's what I did this season. So like it was like, but like this one, I never had that problem. I was always looking forward to Clevitas. Like whenever the new episode came out, I was always looking forward to it.
I think it's because you can't really count this as like a true dark fan. Well, yeah, I don't think that's necessarily true from what I'm going to say. But I think the big underlying thing of this is there was always hope with Clevitas. Like there was always a progression towards like a good end. Whether or not like Clevitas's designs would be something that would ultimately bring around, the destruction of humanity or not, there was always some sort of idea that like they were working towards something, like there was a goal in mind and there was the potential that there would be a good outcome. It wasn't completely nihilistic. And that's why I can stomach something like Berserk. It is brutal, but there always is that sliver of hope at the end that just, is like, okay, I can keep looking at this. Attack on Titan for a while was like that, and then it got to the final season, and it was just like, okay, so we're just gonna do the genocide run. Got it.
That's where I dropped Attack on Titan. Like
Listen,
when Eren, yeah.
I would have been okay with Eren killing everyone, right? Because he wanted to wipe out all the people or all the Titans, and then when he found out that these people were sending the Titans, I was okay with him killing them all. But it's his friends like betraying him, and then all this other shit that's going on, and then time travel, and I was like, man, this show sucks dick. Who keeps saying this is good writing?
I don't like, that's my big thing is like dark fantasy without some sort of hope of a good resolution is not good. Like Tokyo Ghoul was good because there was always that hope of a good resolution. I don't even mind like a tragic ending. I just hate nihilistic endings. Like that annoys me. I don't see that being the case in Clevitas. A lot of the things they're doing, it isn't like overly like death-centric character. Like you do get a couple of kills and everything in here, but like, so you maintain stakes, you maintain mortality and everything, but it is by no means without hope. I think that's the big selling point for this that makes it palatable. Is it has that sort of like classic fantasy vibe to it for the most part, but it's a little bit more in depth, a little bit of the dark fantasy stuff because you're more so focused on a a monster who is, looking at humanity from the outside.
Right. I think that's. Go ahead, sir.
Sorry, no, you do it. Go for it, man.
Oh, I was just going to add just briefly that, yeah, that's the whole thing with Clevitas. He's turning over a new leaf. And so that's the positive aspect of it, is that we saw just how devastating he could be right away. And then from that point, then it's always had a more positive tone to it, even though he may be brutal or brutalistic in his ideas and how he goes about things, right? But it's still that, oh, well, you know what? I'll give this a chance. It's like, give peace a chance, right? And so that's what he's being positive. And I enjoyed it from that aspect as well. It just seemed really interesting. It's compelling because he's still a loose cannon. He's still like a wild beast almost, and you don't know 100% how things are going to turn out. But yeah, the promise is there. So I'm with you on that.
But and then if I could, like, the competence of this one is very reminiscent of like all the compliments that we've been giving for the last 2 seasons of Sword of the Demon Hunter. I love the fact that that like every time, like, they go out of their way to explain that every time she gets her body destroyed, she goes through an excruciating amount of pain to get it like put. So it keeps it from being cheap, because like the jumping off the bridge thing was like, you're like, oh damn, well I guess that's what you do if you're immortal, but like she was like, oh, that sucked, I am not doing that shit again. And so it was good, like every single moment. It's that competency. It's like it's making something that's so fantastic seem reasonable, and just that little bit, like those little kernels of things that make a lot of sense to people. I think keeps you drawn in.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's the character work in this. Like, the characters are so great. Like, even the random side characters, like the captain and stuff. The one with the spear that doesn't actually know how to use a spear, holding it like a fucking sword. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? But like, the characters like are so cool. Like, I like them all. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. This isn't actually true because the manga just has not been properly adapted here to the West yet. Like, it's been running for a long time in Japan, but it is still very new here in the US. So like, are the English translations, not very many of them, but if you find scans, like if you go look for scans, you can find you can find a lot, enough for like, season 1 adapted 4 volumes and there's 10. Well, I mean, by the time season 2 comes out, I'm sure that the series will be just about done. So another 3-season anime. I'm all for shorter anime. Like, just as long as, like, we don't get completely deprived of like the long slow burn version, slow burn storytelling. Either way. I'm messing with you, I'm a jerk. And
cough. Sorry.
So with that said, another one that like kind of just blew me away this season, for very similar reasons to Clevitas, was Call of the Night. Like,
I'll be right back. I gotta get another beer, but I want to talk about this.
Yeah. So
I'll step away briefly too.
Very
well, I'm not going to leave you hanging, Crimson, but I didn't watch this one, so I'm just going to listen to you.
You haven't? Well,
nah.
Season 1 is rough. It's very much like, it's very much like you just get this like weird sort of like slice of life with vampires. I'm just like, okay, like I was not a huge fan of season 1. Season 2 is a completely different thing. And it's a very interesting experience because season 1, it like does all of like this like setup and everything. It's like, like introducing you to the world of vampires and like goes like back and forth about like being a human or a vampire and all that. And then right at the end of season 1, you're introduced to a very pivotal character in this whole story, with Anko. And that just spirals out of control into season 2 with everything that goes on with like her hunting the vampires and all that. And we get like her backstory. It's a whole, like season 2 was absolutely fantastic. when it comes to this anime, and it completely changed my mind on how I felt about this. It made watching season 1 for all of the setup absolutely worth it for the payoff with this guy.
Season 2 had the world building.
I got like I think 2 episodes in, and main girl, I don't know what it is about her. I don't find her remotely visually appealing, and I don't find her character to be particularly appealing either. And our main guy is allegedly a middle schooler, and it just wasn't. Yeah, I was having a hard time getting into it, but like I said, if we get us one of these slow seasons, I think I might try to get into it.
It's worth a binge, to be entirely honest.
Okay.
Season 1 is kind of like in that bin where like I have the watch of season 2 category over here. I'm changing this actually to just the binge bin, but season 1 definitely fits into that category. But season 2 was absolutely worth watching weekly. Like every episode, like you get 2 episodes in, and then it's just banger episode, banger episode, banger episode, banger episode. It just keeps going all the way up until like the very last episode kind of goes back to like, all right, that was just kind of okay.
So I kind of recommended this to Crimson, right, from season 1. And I said it was solid, right? It's a solid anime. The protagonist is kind of fucking retarded. But other than that, like he's probably one of the worst protagonists in like anime.
Ko Yamori, he is a dickhead.
Well,
he
he's
sucks.
a middle schooler.
Yeah,
better
but
than
he's
Shinji. All right, I don't want to hear it.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's definitely not.
No, I agree with Muffler Tape here at the very least. Like,
no, they both suck. But
I would not insult Ko by comparing him to that dillweed Shinji.
Well, he's the same category, so they're just as shitty. But he sucks, right? But I'm so I recommended this to Crimson, and I could not follow like every episode. I was like, you know what? I'm going to save it, and I binged all of season 2 today. And I was like, Crimson, you have to explain the 100 or the 1 year rule to me again, because if I'm misunderstanding this rule, I got it completely backward. Like it fucking breaks its one rule that it's set up throughout the entire first season that it keeps mentioning. And Crimson had to re-explain it to me, and I was like, okay, I take back my problem with it. Mm-hmm. But I do have a problem with season 2. They introduced that psychopathic vampire, and then that was it. We never got her the rest of the season again.
I think that's a prelude to what's going to be the end of the series.
Yeah, but still, I wanted that crazy bitch more.
I have a feeling. So here's basically what it sets up. Season 1 leads us all the way into the detective, and then season 2 is the detective story. Mm-hmm. And given they kind of allude to the fact that nobody really knows anything about Psycho Bitch Vampire, and she very much gives like main antagonist kind of vibes. Mm-hmm. Nobody really knows about any like who she is, but they do say she's very effective. And the one thing we see, it tells us that she likes getting people to fall in love with her and then turning them into vampires and then fucking off. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling that she's going to be the one who ended up turning the detective's dad, and that's why they introduced her here, is so that like you get that, oh crap, okay, so now she's involved with Ko's best friend and she's manipulating him.
That makes sense.
Like there's a whole level of like involvement there that I feel like this could be something like really fucking cool if they pull it off. But I get it. Like I wanted to see a little bit more of that whole thing explored as well, because I feel like that's a really good antagonist character to follow up Anko with. And it kind of plays into Ko, being like, I want to help the detective find who killed her family. Mm-hmm. So season 2, all around, very, very good storytelling. I don't think it would be as good if you didn't have the setup from season 1, but it's definitely like the reason to season 2 is definitely the reason to watch this show.
Fair enough.
Anyone got anything else?
I would put it in very good.
Yep, gonna binge it pretty soon, pretty much.
I loved it. We already talked about the
Xenomorph's
Silent
great.
Witch earlier. We can talk about what's coming to an end here with sort of the Demon Hunter.
So I still haven't watched it since you guys told me about that episode that where they didn't fill out almost all of the animation. I still haven't watched it since then.
Well, we got answers to the reason why there's a chick who said she knows Genia for 100 years or so in this latest episode, and now I can't talk about it because you haven't seen it.
Go for it. I'll go like this.
Well, I mean, so I was wrong about it being his daughter.
Oh
Yeah.
So like we are now introduced to the fact that someone he knows in the future is time traveling.
What the
which
fuck?
which was fucking awesome. It was
It
so
was,
good.
It was so out of nowhere.
was so
It's
good.
more so like a mystical thing. She gets involved with something at like a shrine and everything. She gets swept up in like a big flash of light and gets sent back to the Meiji era where Genia is running his demon Soba.
It's got some Inuyasha then to it. Okay.
And she's sitting there like looking at like this guy that she knew from high school, and is like, oh, so now I understand that like him talking about being a demon that's over a century old, he wasn't joking about that.
Dude, and like what made it so much better was that like for being something that's completely out of left field, they still found a way to make it seamlessly work within the confines of the story and the magic system that's already existing, which was just so cool. And like, and you know, time travel is always like it's a double-edged sword, you know, in fiction. It's really hard to do well, you know, and this was just a really neat little wrinkle at the end that I'm hoping sets the table to wrap up this arc. So
cool.
Yeah, it like this latest episode was very interesting. I will say that this is another one that deserved a much better animation budget than what it got. I feel like when I complained about I guess Biggles, if you want to get back, I don't know if you can hear me.
No, he doesn't have his shit on right now.
I know. If you want to get back in here, we're done kind of talking about the latest episode. We're done talking about the latest episode, so we're just going to talk generally about Sword of the Demon Hunter now.
Sounds good.
But like this is one that genuinely probably like that's contradictory. Let me rephrase that. This is one that genuinely would have benefited from a much better animation budget. Like if this had like even half the budget of Demon Slayer, I feel like it would have been a much better anime. Just because the fights would have been much cooler. You wouldn't have had that one episode where everything was absolutely fucked. And the storytelling, I think, is just undeniably much stronger in this than in Demon Slayer.
Dude, like I have to. There's a little bit of a middle finger to you and Biggles on this one for pointing this out to me, because had I never joined this community, I wouldn't have ever realized what to look for when they're cutting down on animation budget. But I realized it when I was like binging Black Clover a couple of years ago, and there's a couple fights that are just fucking line art. Like that's like the just it's all it is. And it was like I was like, oh, what's that? That's weird. Like this kind of looks like shit. Like what's going on? And and then like you guys were like, oh yeah, no, it's like when they run out of money. And so I'm like, I was watching. I think it was like maybe was it 3 weeks ago was the episode that Biggles left off on, and I'm like, oh my god, it's solid colors everywhere, and then it's clearly a mat that's behind the doorway, and it's like, fuck, I wish I didn't know how the sausage was made here, like because it hurt, like because it's a really impactful scene, but like it looks like shit, like it looks awful, and it just hurt, like
you really suffer, because it like. You're distracted from everything that's going on in that scene by the fact that the entire like animation is just incomplete. Yeah. And people were talking about Jujutsu Kaisen's incomplete episode. That was nothing compared to what we got with this one. It definitely is a bit historical. It kind of generally talks about historic events, but it's more so like focused on like a story of like I don't know if you want to call it supernatural stuff or whatever, but it can be pretty philosophical at times. Like it's very deep at times. I think that's the big attraction to it, is its story is like very centered around like specifically the kid, like Genia as a character. So you get a lot of like his development. Yeah, you get a lot of his development as like the center of it. And whatever fights are in it are often like short or like not really the focus. They're just kind of the result of whatever tensions are going on in Genia's life at the time.
I find that description pretty compelling. Like, because for me, with Demon Slayer, just since there is some comparisons to be made with that, I felt that I really enjoyed story elements for Demon Slayer, but they don't really start until the Swordsmith Village arc, where it starts weaving these different pieces together for the ultimate conclusion of the story. And some of the more philosophical aspects that they had, I felt were just, were great, but they're definitely rushed in the storytelling. So if you start off with that in mind, and, I've watched a few episodes of Sword of the Demon Hunter, and if they just continue to that through line on everything, I think that, it's going to be phenomenal. So I'm excited to continue it at some point. So.
Yeah. This is basically like Demon Slayer if it spec'd all its points into storytelling rather than animation. That's what you can think of. It does a very like similar thing where it like humanizes the demons in like the Japanese sense of like they're like corrupted people, I guess you could say. People who like let their like circumstances or like the hardships of life get to them, or like their obsessions in some cases. Like in this series, you can become a demon from just being obsessed with one thing.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah, I really like it.
Cool system, man. It's a really cool system. Yeah,
it would have benefited from better animation, but I guess that's kind of why it ended up on High Dive. So it's also a little bit more niche because it is kind of that like philosophical kind of storytelling.
Oh, sorry. Good.
I just said seinen. It's more for an older demographic. So yeah.
And that was exactly it. It's like if you were gonna make, and that's why I made the comment, and sorry for interrupting, Crimson. It's like it's Demon Slayer for adults. Like it's not shonen, it's not for teenagers. Like it's a very, like I said, like it's a very philosophical, methodical story, and there's a lot more stuff going on in it, and there is some blink if you blink you miss it to it, and it's cool. It's really cool. And especially if you've watched Demon Slayer, like a lot of the concepts, especially with like a semi-historical setting, there's a lot of parallels like all the way through. And it's a good one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good, solid story. Another one that I have enjoyed that I do have like, kind of my complaints about was Gachiakuta. I've really liked the way that this one is written. It's kind of in a similar way. It is much more shonen, but it still has a lot of those methodical storytelling elements to it that sort of the Demon Hunter has. And that's, I think, why I enjoy it. It's because it's that slow burn, like takes its time to really set things up as it goes on. That makes it much more of a payoff. One of my big issues with shows is when they start like blitzing plot lines. Like one of the big issue I had with like Tougen Anki is it feels like they go from like dude has his first encounter to getting recruited to being put on the front lines in like a couple of episodes. It feels really, really fast paced, and I didn't enjoy that. It felt like a lot of those things probably should have taken longer. With Gachiakuta, the progression feels natural. Like the first 2 episodes are like getting him like just in contact with people who know how to teach him how to use his powers. And then from there, you are slowly getting introduced to like more like broader world elements like the trash beasts and everything. And then you get introduced to the raiders, and they like subtly insinuate that like there's this entire organization of raiders out there who are pulling off this sort of complex operation. And then you are also like introduced to some of the like rogue elements like Amo and everything. overall, I like the power system in this. I think it's pretty cool. I also like that Rudo is just like a genuinely the kind of shonen character I enjoy the most. Characters who aren't like just like I am an angry dude who wants to fight everything, and I have no ability to reflect on that and just like hold my tongue. Like at least with Rudo, he learns his lesson pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's one I'm behind on that one. I'm second half of Dreadlock fight after like, and that's where and that one, and I would say like I lost a little bit of momentum just because the dystopian stuff has been done to death in media in general, and it wasn't I think I made the comment in chat a couple times where it's like I was way more interested in the above world. It kind of had an 86 type feel to it, if any of you guys watched that one or not. Like, and like holy crap, I'm obsessed with that anime. Like that was so good.
I'm not as much of a fan specifically of just like the setting of Gachi Yakuza, kind of like you said. This apocalyptic world doesn't really like feel all that interesting to me.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I'm hooked on like its storytelling, its characters, power system. I feel like it's pretty well animated. So like a lot of the other things have me hooked, and the world being like not my favorite, it doesn't annoy me, but it's definitely a mark against it. It's one that honestly, like given the like progression of the storytelling and everything, this is one that I would actually mark lower on the list, like overall so far, than some of the other ones, just because like as much as I do enjoy it and there are cool things about it, I feel like its setting just feels a little too grim at times.
Yeah.
Just because everything is like ruined, trash, apocalyptic wasteland kind of stuff. And like I enjoy a good, apocalypse setting, but at least do something like Heavenly Delusion or Apocalypse Hotel, where like everything is like overgrown and reclaimed by nature and all that.
Yeah, not like a toxic wasteland where literally nothing grows or lives. Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I like the series quite a bit. I mean, we get the conclusion of season 1, I'm assuming, unless it's too cool or tomorrow, and I'm current with it. And
no, it's too cool.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's continuing into fall, I believe.
Well,
24
I guess
episodes.
I've liked it so far, but yeah, I agree with you guys. I mean, like the setting is not super unique to me. If anything, it definitely felt similar to something like a Battle Angel Alita or something, very striking resemblance to that. But as far as the characters go, I mean, I think he's a compelling protagonist. I mean, he's definitely got some revenge elements to him, but he, to your point, he does seem like he is learning to control his emotions, definitely paying attention to what's going on around him and trying to react accordingly to it. So I think it's interesting. I like the group that he's with as well, as far as the cleaners. I think that they are interesting, and I did like the free city that they introduced, but I just don't know for sure where the story's going right now. So if they do some weird stuff with the plot, I may not like it anymore. But for now, it's pretty good.
Okay, maybe it's not continuing into fall. I don't see it in here, but I know it has 24 episodes.
Lied to me.
Yeah, maybe I would have to double check very thoroughly, but
yeah, I can
either way. I like, again, like Rudo being level-headed, not just that, but like he's a person who's actually like the big thing for it is being able to like fully reflect on his actions and like more objectively like weigh himself in terms of like what he's doing on the battlefield. A lot of his big struggles in this anime are like, I need to be doing more for people. I can't be dead weight. I need to like actually carry my own weight in this fight, and that's what compels him to do a lot of the stuff. I also don't feel like he is like getting like the overpowered treatment. So like I genuinely prefer someone like him to answer Arceus's question. I genuinely prefer someone like Rudo when it comes to character writing over Shiki, because from what I saw from Shiki, he was an obnoxious hothead. Shiki was like the exact kind of shonen character I hate seeing, because they're like the most common type, and they're like, you're sitting there like they're creating their own obvious problems, and like it just frustrates.
I started that one, and yeah, I could definitely say that I like Gachiakata more right now. I'm gonna watch Togenanki though for the blonde, and then we'll see where that gets me. But yeah.
Okay, as long as we're talking about waifus, that's a good transition into Ruri Rocks, unless anyone has anything else to say. Jeremy, you're muted.
I've been muted this fucking whole time.
So is Jeremy.
Oh my
He's
god!
talking there.
Sorry, that was my bad. Yeah, no, that was my bad. Togenanki. Thanks to Twitter, I will be checking it out now that Blonde Waifu has started making the rounds. So that, and then secondly, because I had mentioned it earlier, and Arceus actually in the chat now. Arceus, when you watch Silent Witch, watch it subbed, not dubbed. Crucially important. This whole time I was trying to log in so I could do the chat through StreamYard, and that was why I was muted. So anyway, sorry about that.
So I need to ask, are you guys watching this in sub or dub?
Gachiakata?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching it dub right now. But I mean,
all right, stop doing that. Go watch it in sub, because the characters are entirely different. Their tone is different. They're not as jokey. They're more serious. Like, watch it in sub, and you get a much better experience because the characters are more true to what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So switch over to sub, and you'll like it better. Like Arceus was talking about the Dreadlock fight, I think, and said he hated that guy. Well, he's a lot cooler in the sub, so he's not as joking.
That was Marcel, I believe, and I don't think Marcel.
Was it Marcel? Dubs. No, Marcel says he only watches subs.
Yeah, I think it was Marcel who said that. Anyway, Ruri Rocks
said
I don't care. Nagi is the single hottest woman of this entire season, and you cannot change my mind on that.
There's I have a hard time pushing back on that one.
There is going, but I agree. Yeah. Nagi is top tier. You know,
like
one and two finish. One and two.
Yeah, for real. Like she is absolutely.
理想的な柔らかさ、俺の美意識に間違いはなかった。何をなさっておいでですか。検品だ、検品。
That's not even right. Like on Marcel's recommendation. On Marcel's recommendation, I've been doing the audiobooks for that series, and it's absolutely glorious. Like so like I can't wait till more of that comes out, because it only gets better. So.
Well, it's from Trapped in a Dating Sim. Otome games are tough for mobs.
That one was Evil Lord of Intergalactic Empire. Wasn't it?
Same writer.
Yeah, that one was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, no, I love both of them. So
anyway, I need to goon about Nagi here for a bit. So we're gonna swing this all the way back around.
Bring on the gooning
to Ruri Rocks. And look, this is an anime that I started because it was about rocks. It was one I continued because it got me rock hard, and it's one that I will be finishing because it's just all around a fantastic anime. Like. I don't know what else to say about this. Like, yeah, I got into it.
You did say that out loud, just so you know.
I know. I meant to. I don't care if people know that.
He wants to.
Like, I got into it because I wanted to watch the anime that was going to teach me about geology and stuff, because I like those kinds of topics. And then I saw Nagi's ass, and I'm like, I have a second reason to watch this now.
And Crimson did not see the bell at first, okay? That's how you know Little Chad
you're gay if you see the bell.
Hey, it was Little Chad, okay? I was saying Little Chad saw the bell, and we're like, wait, there's a bell? And then we looked, and I was like, I still don't see a bell. And he's like, he showed it and circled it, and we're like, oh, there is a bell.
Yeah. Anyway, this is one, like, in spite of the fact that, like, it is definitely like the, the goon worthy kind of characters, they're still really, really well written. I like the fact that they have like each their own role, I guess you could say, but in a similar way, they're like and kind of occupying similar spaces. Nagi and Ruri are kind of like the student, the teacher and student, and then Imari and Shoko are like teacher and student, but they have their different focuses. Nagi is like the very active, hands-on type, and same with Ruri. That's why they get along so well. But at the same time, Nagi is also pushing everyone to, like, get better, pretty much. She's pushing them to get good. She's making, like, her underclassmen, like, get out there and do things that they're uncomfortable with so that they're actually, like, furthering their own career goals. She's encouraging people to take on challenges because she believes that they can do it and, like, actually helping them see things through. In that sense, I feel like Nagi is a really, like, not other than being, like, best waifu of summer, a really good, like, mentor figure in anime. And, like, I think that's one of the big things with this is, like, you get a lot of good character development to go along with a show that has, like, a very interesting topic to me anyway. It is animated beyond anything it probably needs to be animated. Which is another point of appeal, and there are certain things that the animators really loved certain things about this anime,
and they never missed an opportunity to show off their skills and dedication to their craft.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the cosplay episode basically for Nagi?
Yes, we can. But for a brief moment, I am going to step away. I will be right back. You guys can get started on that, though.
Rolando says we're gay for liking Nagi. Rolando, I don't think you know what that word means.
I do not think that means what you think it means.
To Crimson's point, if I was if I was Luke Skywalker and she was Obi-Wan Kenobi, all right, I'm just saying, like, maybe you could draw your own conclusions, all right. But yeah, she's a good guidance counselor, right? She, good mentor figure.
So they always make jokes that I am an Amari supremacist because I was complaining for a whole episode that they nerfed her ass. And I was like, listen, they nerfed Amari's ass. They made it flat. So there was a scene where her ass was completely flat. And I was complaining about it. And they're like, you're an Amari supremacist. Like, no, I'm complaining that they took away her ass. And then the very next episode, everyone ran into Nagi's ass and, like, kind of fell over after hitting it. Like, yeah, I get it. I understand. You got so distracted that you ran into it face first. So,
no, I mean, like, just again, like, what a treat and a fun way to take a topic that I took earth science in high school, 22 years ago. Like, you're 20. Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. Like, rudimentary understanding of geology. It's like, oh, cool. Like, this is interesting. I will continue to watch this. Okay. All right. There we go. Like, they knew how to sell what they were selling. Like, and it worked out.
Is it possibly the reason why the Japanese are so better educated compared to the people in the U.S.?
They have
compelling teaching techniques.
The power of anime titties compels you.
Titties and anime ass compels you. You must do it.
Like, I've been telling people who haven't watched this, like, if there's something that you're into, like, it doesn't matter, like, whether you're an ass guy, a thighs guy, or a boobs guy. Like, this show's got you covered.
They got it all.
Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Like, and ironically, that is, like, one of, like, the least it's nice, the fan service and stuff, but it's one of the least compelling reasons to watch this anime. And that's the kind of thing I like when it comes to, like, the fan servicey gooner kind of stuff, is when that is the least compelling part or the least compelling reason to watch the show.
I mean, all the characters are great, even, like, the high schoolers. So, and you don't get fan service from the high schoolers, just the two college girls.
They
Yeah.
they do a
So-
couple things with Rory in the bedroom, and like every time you do it, I wasn't my jam by any stretch of imagination, but it was just yeah.
You get some loungewear shots, and that's about it.
Yes, yeah, but like very deliberate camera angle loungewear shots that could have done. Like, did any of you guys ever check out Mao Yu? It was like a 1-season anime that it was done by like a hentai company, but it was like a real anime, but like anyway, it was like it doesn't matter. Like, the point is, like, it was this really fun anime, but it was like the author like really wanted to be this like military historian or some shit like that, and economist. And at the end of every chapter, there's like a breakdown of like this economic concept or this like military strategy or like, and it was like incredibly informative. And I'm like reading through this like in manga because I went back to like read it, and I'm like, holy crap, this is like a textbook page at the end of the chapter. But then like all you were doing was talking about boobs bouncing, like literally like the frame before this. And that's all I could think of the whole time I'm watching Rory Rocks. It was like, it's just a thing, I guess, in Japan. It's like, I want to nerd out, but in order to do that, I need to show tits. Like,
Yeah, that's how I
and
feel.
If I do that, then
I show my
they'll let
tits
me
every
write
time I
whatever
nerd
wanna
out.
write. So yeah,
I can only hope that season 3 of
there you
Mushoku
go.
Tensei is going to be as animated as this by Studio Bind. One can only hope.
Biggles, if you have some specific things you want to talk about before we go, we can hit those real quick.
Oh no, not really. I just I wanted to know if you wanted anything. Like,
Nah,
Kenshi
this is,
number
I
8
said,
knowledge.
I
As long
said
as-
this is open mic night. I mean, you're here for as long as you want to or need to be. You know.
I'm literally only here to like annoy you.
Just don't.
It's
twit
one of my
your
favorite
tipples,
things.
All right, you were talking about just don't twit your tipples. All right.
My mother
Throw some
tweeted
money
my
to Crimson. Here's my
tipples!
boobs.
Anyway, so I think anyone else got anything to say on Rory Rocks? No. Okay.
Any
and I
announcements
will-
or news on if there's more?
We got one episode left tomorrow, but I think that's about it. I haven't heard anything else. But this also wrapped up this week, which I was very happy with. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. This one was just. This was a really, really good romance anime this season. And if like you're a fan of like My Dress Up Darling, this is probably another one that's worth watching. For like specifically like if you enjoy like a really good romance, this one's good. Like you don't have to worry about them doing the will they won't they dance for like 3 seasons. That is one of the I think the best things to like sell this on. But on top of that, like it's just a very like wholesome anime, one that you can like sit down and be like, oh yeah, like this is gonna be a happy episode. I'm gonna enjoy this. I like it's really well done, and all I can really say like to try and like sell this more is it's good people having good relationships with each other and just generally being like good friends or parents. Like the interpersonal relationships in this are fantastic. Like there's no like there's no like huge like season long drama thing that goes on. Like an issue happens and then it gets resolved within the episode. And all right, if you're out of here, Biggles, goodbye. Subscribe to Biggles Mets. We'll be over there on Monday, I believe, doing some form of bullshit.
Yeah. Some sort of crazy shit because we got a bunch of season ends that we didn't get to talk last week or this week, I guess.
Yeah, because Biggles was busy sucking off his best friend or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a friend in from Pennsylvania, and they've been driving across the entire country, and they were in Vegas, and all their shit got stolen in Vegas, so we had to go to Walmart and buy a whole bunch of new shit, and then, yeah.
That's rough. Holy crap!
Fuck. Okay.
They got all their shit stolen. So instead of hanging out with them, we just went to Walmart, got all the shit they needed, hung out by my pool, and then went to bed. So everything we had planned got fucked. But we'll talk stuff on Monday, and then you guys continue to harass Crimson for me. I need someone to do it.
We'll do our best.
All right. Bye, guys.
I've got a chat full of hecklers. We're good. See you later, Biggles.
Bye.
Have a good one. Yeah. As far as the wrap up on this, I'm really glad that like they ended the season on that note. But I feel like it kind of leaves you wanting more of the series. Like you get there, and then you don't quite get the full satisfaction of the whole thing, of the whole payoff. But the fact that like in one season, you have more progress than most anime would get in or most romance anime would get in 3, is definitely worth watching it for. And I just, as far as like characters go, Kaoru and Rintaro, you don't really have like a whole lot of like major humorous moments. You don't have a whole lot of like comedy done like the way My Dress Up Darling would be. But you do have a lot of really good character moments in similar way to where like they both have their stories and like the reason why they are where they are. And it plays off of that and like capturing their relationship with their friends and with each other, and then with Rintaro's parents. That's really the big like selling point of this show. It's just really good at portraying people in a very good light. It makes you like people.
Do you don't happen to know what Netflix decided to do as a drop schedule for that? Are they streaming weekly now? Is that what's going on?
I'm not sure. I know that there are 4 episodes out now. I think they're doing a weekly drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because now that they have their dub, the only way I've been able to track that is with the weekly release of the dub. So
gotcha.
They really they screwed this. They screwed this series over. Binge it. It would be really good as a binge. I mean, it's worth watching weekly, but it's definitely one that would be really good as like you have a rainy day or whatever where you're doing nothing. Pick it up, watch all 13 episodes.
Fair enough.
It's even got a recommendation from people I know that are like I just know through my work, some people from Costa Rica, even and it's the ladies, I mean, so it appeals across both sexes. So as far as I'm aware, it's really good. I'll probably start it at some point. I just have to be in the mood for romance, but I hear it's really well done. So
I think the finale on A Bouquet for an Ugly Girl had a bigger impact, but I really like that marvels me that is the title in Japanese. And like I understand why they changed it to April Showers Bring May Flowers for the English version.
Oh Jesus, that was actually the Japanese title. That would not have flown over here. Like
no, it legitimately had like the title legitimately has Busa in it, so I can tell you, it does mean they are calling her an ugly girl.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. I don't really. Did either of you guys watch Takupi's Original Sin?
No.
I do not want to have a depression quest. Okay, so no, not at the moment. When I'm ready for depression quest, I'll go to it.
I'll keep it short and say
literally you just echoed my sentiment exactly.
Yeah,
it's a very good tragic anime. Very well animated. I think the voice actors did fantastic. It's a really good, like well written series, but it is like very condensed depression. So watch at your own risk.
Fair enough.
I like it. I think it's a must-watch from this season, but that's just me. All right. Dealing with the Mika Dono sisters is a breeze. It's the last one in this category. And this is one where, like, I really do like it. But it kind of just barely makes it up to this top category, to be entirely honest. Like, one of the good things about it is it's very focused on that, like, wholesome family dynamic that Yu is after. Someone's here.
Oh yeah, hello.
Oh, there he is.
Didn't realize he had joined.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, man.
You can keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't come in here to say something specific.
No.
Other than to yell at me to watch Togenanki or something like that. I know you're gonna.
No, I won't be like that.
Dealing with the Mikadono sisters was one that I kind of picked up on the tail end of tying the knot with an Amagami sister. I'm like, I'm kind of still feeling that itch for this sort of storytelling, so might as well go for it. I like this one, but for completely different reasons. You as a main character was something I feel was a really a refreshing take on his sort of uselessness, I guess you could say. Where he's not someone who is out here moping about feeling sorry for himself for being useless. He's still making an effort to do a bunch of things, and he's still actually putting in some work for stuff. If Biggles were here, he would tell you that Nico is best girl, and I do kind of tend to agree. In all of this, I feel like Kazuki, the eldest sister, was not the most interesting.
Is that Sporty Spice? Is that the one that you're saying is best girl?
Yes, that is the middle sister. That's the sporty one.
Yeah, I didn't make it through the first episode of this one. I just wasn't resonating, and watched way too much trash isekai this season. So
what's funny I didn't like the first couple episodes of Mikadono sisters, and I think by the time I hit episode 3 or 4, I fell in love with it.
Okay.
I feel like it was a bit of a slow roll for me as well, but not quite I didn't like it. I was like, oh, I kind of enjoy this. This is interesting. And then a couple more episodes, I'm like, oh, I really like this. This is much better than I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be a cheesy harem anime sort of thing. It turned out to be a really good, I don't know, family message sort of thing where Yu is going through all this effort to sort of get these girls back in contact with each other and just have a nice family dinner every night. And that was really the part of it that I liked. Meanwhile, all of these out of reach girls are the most easily swoon women of all time. He just does something minor for them and they're all oh my gosh. They're all falling head over, tripping over themselves. It's trying to compete while also being in complete denial of the fact that they love him.
If only that was real life.
Yeah, if only a woman would love me like that,
Yeah.
But this is one where like I said, it was there are a lot of anime this season that turned out to be better than I expected. This was another one of them.
For harem recommendations, since this should be still a harem rom-com or romance in essence. So how would this one rank up compared to other ones that you've watched that are more explicit for just that subgenre? What is your vibe on that? Because if I'm interested in maybe picking one up, but what would you say on that?
For harem romance, I don't know. The three I can think of off the top of my head, insofar as I would rank them, 100 Girlfriends will always be the best harem romance of all time.
Okay.
But Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister, would be my next recommendation after that. That one just it does character development, supernatural elements, storytelling. Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister is something that really needs another season to finish everything out.
And it's not 100 Girlfriends is amazing in how ridiculous it is. And everything about it, it is absurdist humor from start to finish. It knows exactly what it is and leans into it hard as fuck. It just absolutely does. Tying the Knot is that right on the verge of that plausible harem, where it's you could see how this might actually happen in real life, but there is some supernatural element and some other stuff to it that keeps it interesting, keeps it going, and for everything Crimson said, 100%.
Okay.
I don't think Mikadono Sisters lives up to tying the knot with an Amagami sister, but it is a good one because this one seems like it'll probably end with like just one girl. Mikadono Sisters is kind of like the true harem where the dude gets all the ladies at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. All right.
But I truly did enjoy this season of this. Another one, now that I've finished it, I can say that I did like season 2 of Bunny Girl Senpai quite a bit. And now I do feel like we did end up rehashing a couple of things throughout this. Amagami Sister is kind of Bunny Girl Senpai Harem Edition. That's actually not a bad analogy. That is actually not a bad analogy.
Would you say that for season 2 only or season 1? Because I watched a bit of season 1 and it got a little heady for, like we said, my qualifications as to, what I want to just sit down when I'm getting off work.
For Bunny Girl Senpai?
Yeah. I thought there was like that teenage syndrome stuff and fading in and out of existence. Like the whole first season, you guys were talking last week, I think it was, about how like season 2, you might not necessarily need to have watched season 1 to be able to enjoy season 2. And
I don't know what Biggles is on about with that.
Yeah.
A lot of the relationship with Mai and Sakuta, even if it's not the same timeline in season 2, you're missing a ton of context as to their relationship if you don't watch season 1.
Fair enough.
Biggles is just stupid like that sometimes. Ignore him on anything but Kaiju number 8. Even then, you should still ignore him.
I was very confused on his take in my stream the other night because I was like, how do you just skip season 1? Like,
he's talking about like storytelling wise, but even then, it's like, just because like you miss a bunch of context for the relationship. I think I was honestly like, this one's a little bit more tense than season 1 of Bunny Girl Senpai was. I think there's a little bit more of like Sakuta's a little bit more paranoid in this one, especially after the movie. So there's that. But we do see a lot of like very similar things, like Santa Claus is kind of in a similar boat to Mai. We see a repeat of a lot of like the similar, like a lot of the things that he saw in his high school days. But there's a different context to this because now he's in college. There are like he's a tutor as a part-time job and everything. But it's still this at the core, like a really good relationship between him and Mai.
absolutely agree with you, Crimson. I think Bunny Girl Senpai was something that I didn't, jump on sooner. And when I did, I realized the peak I was missing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I might have to give another shot.
Yeah.
So then, continuing down the line, that brings us to Kaiju number 8. And I will say, with this latest episode, like, credit where credit is due. If Biggles were here, it would have been great to get his opinion on this or hear him comment a little bit on this. But this episode did something that I really liked, and they actually, hyped up Kafka going into combat and gave him some gave him a really good introduction to the war. It showed his conviction. It actually made him seem like a really cool character. It didn't go out of his way to humiliate him or anything. It was just, I thought that was a really good moment for him specifically. And that was a really good way to end that episode. But otherwise, when it comes to Kaiju number 8, this is one that I just think kind of goes in like the very good category. Like, it's a cool show. But when it comes to the overall storytelling of Kaiju number 8, I just can't really fully sink my teeth into it.
I also agree with you, Crimson, with all the bad takes we had earlier this night, disagreeing with each other. Kaiju number 8 season 1 was a big season. I really enjoyed. It was probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite anime that aired last year. But season 2, just for whatever reason, just never captured the hype I had with it. just I don't know, over the last couple weeks, it wasn't getting there. It felt like something was missing. But this cliffhanger episode, man, the last like 2 episodes, man, were just phenomenal, man.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know about like like it was cool the last episode. I really felt it with this latest episode. Is Kaiju number 8 really done?
I thought they had one more episode because didn't they start a week late?
That's what I thought. I thought there was one more episode for Kaiju number 8, but for some reason it is not showing up in my.
It's completed, man.
Wait, the Kafka's transformation there is where they called it?
That is the cliffhanger for season 2, yes.
That's what Marcel's saying in chat, which sounds
okay,
like
what the fuck?
I was gonna say, it sounds like he put a fist through his TV. Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was bullshit.
This says 11 episodes, so yeah, that's probably it.
Fucking hell, yeah. And that's why I can't find it in my still watching list. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so when it comes to Kaiju number 8, like it's a really cool moment, but if that is the end, yeah, insofar as like storytelling goes, like I said, I don't really find a lot of the characters compelling. I can see why some people will like this because it is very action oriented and it does action pretty cool. And it has its hype moments. But those things in and of themselves are not enough to really persuade me to keep watching an anime. Like a lot of like everything up here on like the must watch list here, this is all driven by things that I like about the writing. Like these are all like entirely driven by the fact that I enjoyed their writing. And even some of the upper tiers here and like the very good, these are here specifically because I enjoyed their writing. Kaiju number 8 has a couple of cool moments, but it's not enough for me.
No, I think I said it in chat last week or week before. Like I was waiting until the end of the season to binge it because I watched the first season as a binge. I was late to it and really enjoyed it when I could watch it in that format. Because and the more I've thought about it and like listen to you guys talk every week, it's like because nothing fucking happens. Like you need 3 episodes in a row to actually have any story development to happen, you know. And that's not a bad thing. That's just some stories just need that format, you know, or need that amount of length of time to make something happen. But if they end on a cliffhanger, I'm not doing that shit. I watched all of Star Trek. I'm good. Like I'll wait till the next one comes out before I watch it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Either way, I
Somebody
feel like this would be a really good binge, but watching it weekly has not made me favorable to it. And the only reason I think I got through it was because there was a dub and I could just watch the dub while I was working on something else.
I was gonna say somebody mentioned like the hype being dead for it, and for me, like that was kind of the case because I had already read everything that was current, way past this arc. When the season 1 concluded, I shifted to manga because I was definitely compelled. Got caught up with the manga on like Manga Plus and stuff, and then was like, okay, well, I guess that's it. And then it just, it did not compel me to really pay attention close to the second season, to be honest with you. So.
Mm-hmm.
No, and actually, it's kind of a funny tie-in. Just if I can make an observation that, like, it sounds like Kaiju number 8 season 2 and MDUD season 2 kind of have suffered from a similar fate in the sense that the second season happened to cover arcs that just were the calm before the storm, or there is a lead up to something else that's about to happen. But it's like if you are anime only, like, you're probably going to be disappointed in season 2. You're probably not going to like it because it's like you needed the lull in the story to get to the next, the build up for the next, the setup, and so you can have the payoff. And I think Apothecary has not suffered through that because it's run 2 core seasons for both of its seasons, and both of these shows have been 10-12 episode seasons.
The Apothecary Diaries knew how to bridge the parts of that series that were going to be bad to end on.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where all of the work put into it pays off. I don't think Kaiju number 8 does a very good job of that. But with that said, I think one that does a really good job of telling like a story, 2 actually that tell a really good job of or do a good job of telling a story in one season would be Ugly Mug Epic Fighter and Betrothed to My Sister's Ex. So we'll start with Ugly Mug Epic Fighter, because this is one where like I really felt compelled by just like as the story goes on, like you start with like this ugly guy who like you kind of like get this sense that like, oh, he's this outcast, someone who like didn't matter to everyone and all that. But as the story goes on, you learn more and more that in spite of him like feeling down about the fact that like he's ugly, he put in a lot of effort to still make people smile and had huge impacts on a lot of people's lives.
Real quick, I just finished the casino arc, so they've gotten the payout for that and are yeah. So like, if you would, I'm very much looking forward to finishing it. You know, so if you could say somewhat vague for the back part of it.
Yeah, I won't say too much about it, but like
Yeah,
you get a really good.
It's a complete adaptation.
Mhm.
Okay.
You get a really good job of just like making Shigeru a likable character. And just like everyone in general, like we talked about it, like Seika being like a must protect award kind of thing. It's absolutely true, and she is a very good source of comedy in this, just for her being a little bit on the ditzy side.
And no, just naive to the point where it's an actual hazard, like, you know, and it's those are always endearing characters, like, you know, as long as it's not too overdone.
But yeah, I mean, we get if you're done with the casino, you've been introduced to Karina, right?
Yep.
So that's like an interesting thing that gets added in here. I like this series storytelling. For what it's worth, like I thought this was going to be like a throwaway gimmick anime. No, it's a gimmick anime, but there's actually like a whole like story to this thing with a very positive message that like runs throughout all of it. It's very well written. Like the characters are well done. Sometimes the animation can be very, very good. But in the end, like you're looking at a generic sort of isekai world, generic isekai roles, I guess you could say, and powers. Outside of the special notes, I would say.
Dude, the special notes, like the whole setup with that, and like not necessarily, and that because I don't know if it gets explained at the end, so I'll preface with that. But like the whole concept of like people getting drawn in from our world and you know, having to take a like half a lifespan penalty and like all this other shit, like that's a pretty cool twist to Issei. Like Truck-kun was nowhere to be found. It was blue screen of literal death. Like, you know, it's a neat twist to that.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is it didn't forget about the special notes and they became a core feature of the storytelling.
Yeah, 100%.
I really like how they did all of that. So like the resolution was really good, and like just this is a character driven story that I think was absolutely worth watching for every second of it.
Yeah, no, thanks for recommending it. Like I would not have checked it out had you not. So
anyone else got anything to say?
I think it had a great ending, to be honest. I wish there was a bit more, in my personal opinion. And I don't know if I told you this, Crimson, I might have, but the anime added like a couple more minutes of new content from the manga.
Particularly the ending there, right?
Yes, like literally like the last like 3-4 minutes of it was pretty anime original.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that on your stream, actually.
Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's a very good show.
The next one, I really like this one. Another surprise hit for me. Betrothed to My Sister's Ex, like a 1-season romance, really good character development and storytelling. And held a good bit of drama throughout the whole thing. They kind of end at like just the betrothal, which, okay, I get it. I would have liked them to go a little bit farther than that. But I understand that you've kind of reached the end of your story. Mary has, you know, gone through her whole character arc, has kind of recovered from the abuses that her family subjected her to, and that's really all you need to do to, you know, get to the end of it.
Yeah, is this the end of the source as far as we know?
I don't think there's anything else you can do with this series.
Well, I know, and I say that in the context of like I would almost be disappointed if there was, because like I felt very satisfied by this entire anime.
Unless unless the anime covered 9 volumes, it looks like it's still ongoing.
Okay, well, if this one doesn't get any more, like, then like I think I still would be okay with it. Like it just because it was a very, very, very satisfying place to end. And like like Marcel was saying in the chat earlier, it's like if it leaves you wanting just that little bit more, like that's a good thing. Like that means that like the production did its job. So
yeah. So I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really good anime. Witch Watch I have soured on over time, but I don't think it's horrible. This is one though where I think I would probably, I don't know if I would put it down at the bottom of very good or if I would just put it at interesting. It's one where I feel like it might not be for me. It's kind of like lived through a lot of the parts that I enjoy it for. But the comedy is still like entertaining.
Witch Watch got suffered from the side character filler episodes. And like I think that if they had condensed those, reworked it in a way, like even if they just we all talk about like imperfect adaptations, but at some point, like it's like as the continuity of the show goes, it lacked any sort of overarching. The overarching story was more like an overarching theme, and that actually kind of took away from it because they spent a little too much time establishing it that it is a critical point of what's going on for them to have done nothing with it basically over the course of 24 episodes or whatever.
Yeah, 25, I believe.
Yeah.
Sunday is the last episode for this. And I don't know like what you're going to do story-wise in a singular episode, unless you want to cliffhanger it and potentially get your season 2.
So I don't mean to be that guy, Crimson. So the last episode's October 5th.
What fucking what?
Yeah, they've been skipping weeks for whatever reason, and then I think it's adapting like a cultural festival arc. It's like a 2-chapter arc, which will be able to fit in 1 episode. The adaptation's been all over the place. They've been like adapting chapters from like chapter 80, almost 100, then going back to chapter 20 as of last week. I was having a complaint with Brittany about this last week because I'm like, why did his character development when they went on that date like just made no sense when that was an earlier chapter versus his character development, like let's say episode like 20 or something like that. I think the adaptation's been all over the place personally.
Okay, well no, and that explains so much. Because there were some choices made in the production of this thing that I don't know that I necessarily fully agree with.
Yeah, I feel like this one being scattered is one of the biggest issues. You have a bunch of characters that get introduced. I feel like it bogs down the whole cast very quickly. And like it tries to focus too heavily on a bunch of different people and use them as gag pieces. And for what it's worth, it does have its funny episodes, but at the same time, it's also mixed in with a bunch of like absolute bombs.
I listening to you every week talk about this, like I didn't see the bombs the way that you were saying it, but
the teacher student dojin stuff I never cared for.
I see.
Exactly.
I thought they were fine. Like they were, but like they weren't characters I really particularly cared about, but they were well done episodes. But it was kind of like it was a rambling setup to the stamping gag and all of that other stuff, and it was like just a really long setup for a joke, and it was hit and miss, but I enjoy the show quite a bit, and it's one I can watch with my kids. So
it is pretty clean. That's one of the good things about it. And I'm sure the kids would also get more of a kick out of it than someone like me.
Yeah.
I agree with Marcel and Jeremy there. I do think it had some great episodes. I do think it does have some weaker episodes. I do disagree in the fact with the side characters comment that you briefly made, Jeremy. I agree with you, but I disagree with you because I do like episodes that were focused on Nemu and Wolf and that romance. But then there'd be just episodes just out of nowhere that like started the anime opening with like the Dojin or something, and I'm like, what am I watching?
Well, and I think, sorry, and when I say side characters, I'm talking about the people that don't live in the house.
Okay.
And Nemo. Like, I mean, like, because I would consider that to be like the core group of characters because they establish pretty quickly that this is an ensemble. It's not just our witch and our ogre. Like, it's everybody in this house is like the main characters, but then there's the Shikigami girl who I think is the hottest girl in the like in the thing, but like there's like all of these other characters that you're like, oh, okay, like did I learn her, like the Dojin stuff, like did I learn her name for a reason? And then she shows up like 5 episodes later, and it's like a standalone episode just with her, and it's like, okay, that was a choice, like, maybe run those together, so.
I kind of felt like the student council thing outlived its lifespan after the first episode. Like the first time it was funny, and then the next time they're introduced, I'm just like, okay, can we please not, please, for the love of God, can we not?
I can't even imagine believe I'm doing this because like I'm not like in love with it, but just to play devil's advocate, it makes a ton of sense. You have all of these magical power people. They're going to be getting into shit with the student council all the time. So like they should be involved. They should be like, in fact, there arguably could have been even more interactions with the student council in this one that could have still made it a little bit more like enjoyable. But having the entire student council be in every gag with the student council, yeah, it made it for a lot. And again, I think like the big running theme in this one is like there's a lot of really long setups to jokes and not all of them pay off. And if the joke doesn't land with as much time as you spent setting it up, like you shit away like a quarter of your episode, like trying to set up a joke that wasn't funny. So
yeah, Crimson, I don't know if you agree or if anyone agrees with what I'm going to say, but I do think that Core 1 probably had the better batch of episodes.
I think I enjoyed Core 1 much more.
Yeah.
I feel like though that might be just part of like I kind of got tired of it doing its thing after Core 1. Like, but personally my experience with like the first 12 episodes much more entertaining.
Yeah.
And now we move on to my favorite gay anime of the season.
Man, I'm sorry. I was trying to say something there. I apologize. I had a question if that was cool.
Go ahead.
Okay, my bad. I was trying to... So I've only watched a few episodes of that show. And so from what I'm gathering, from what everybody is saying right now, like, I have a question on this. So if the main protagonists, okay, like, their relationship seems to be, like, the interesting part of the story to me. And if they don't focus on that, I mean, like if it's just gags and side characters, I don't know if I would feel compelled to watch it or not. That's the thing. Like, I mean,
so here's what I'll say.
Yeah,
they're gonna drag it out.
Okay,
they have dragged it out.
Okay,
but you do get a couple of episodes that do focus on that relationship between Morihito and Nico.
Okay,
but there's this whole thing like. I'd like not to like spoil it too much, but like
yeah, you're fine.
There's a whole magical reason for why they're gonna drag this whole thing out.
Okay.
Nico did some dumb shit, and it's kind of cock blocking her.
Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother muffler tape?
Yeah, I definitely. So it's one of those type of.
Yes, that's what this show is. Like in a nutshell, it's just anime How I Met Your Mother. Like it's gags, it's side bits, and all of this stuff. And then in the 11th hour, we'll meet the mother. Like
it's probably like a flashback to old school storytelling then, because like when it was more episodic, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna tune in and watch an episode,
100%. And that's like the only reason why I go to bat for this show is because you could literally just randomly pick an episode and there's like a better than 95% chance that you're not going to be missing any context like to what's going on, or it will be very easily picked up.
Cool.
All right, back to the gay anime now. So I like the Summer Hikaru died specifically for the supernatural stuff. Like I like the idea of like this whole like mountain god thing that they're dealing with, like the lore of the village and all the creepy stuff that's going on. That part I find incredibly engaging. However, the main character's homosexual urges are not something I give a shit about. And it's just the main character. So like the other guy clearly wasn't feeling the same way. But it like the main character gives like they don't even need to say it, but he's very clearly gay.
So what was a bigger cliffhanger, Kaiju or Hikaru?
Hikaru. Because I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with the Summer Hikaru died after that.
I read Kaiju. I know what happens in that one.
Well, no, like I know what's going to happen there is like Kafka's going to go fight some motherfucker.
Yeah.
A dude who's been hunting Hikaru just like is watching him and Hikaru and the main character like have this whole like spat with each other about like whether Hikaru should go back up the mountain or not. And then, like, at the very end, after everything's resolved, he just sort of walks over to the guy casually with something that they dropped. Like, he's going to be, like, play friendly with him.
The salamander. The dude grabbed the salamander.
Yeah. He grabbed the inflatable salamander.
Basically saying, like, you can't run away from your past self.
So you preface this with calling this a gay anime, and now you're talking about inflatable salamanders. So I feel like there's some context that I am missing. So.
There's a lot of context. This show does like a lot of the like the creepy like supernatural stuff really well. Like it has like this whole like lore set up for this village and everything, and like how like they have this like god that they have to appease and all of that, and like Hikaru's family and everything, and how this whole situation got started. That part's cool, but the fact that it does really focus on Yoshiki, like and his whole thing about like basically like I'm gay and my best friend that I was in love with wasn't.
Sorry.
It wasn't really a good subplot to it. If they had just like gone with like this is my best friend and I can't get over the loss of my best friend, would have been one thing. But like there are times where he very clearly like insinuates that like he's gay. Yeah, the gay fisting orgy was just too much for me, so I dropped it. That's a little bit of a wild way to say it, but I guess it gets the point across. I mean, Yoshiki does stick his fist inside of Hikaru. It's just not what you're thinking.
What?
I mean, it's different. It's not. It's way different.
Death punch.
It's way different if you're sticking your hand into a hole in a dude's chest. Okay.
So basically, this anime would be perfect without the love and the story.
I'm not a BL fan, so yes, it would have been much more of an enjoyable show to me without the whole romance thing going on.
I agree with you.
Like I'm sorry, I just can't get, like under no circumstance can I get behind the romance of a dickhead like Yoshiki.
Bro, the last like 5 minutes of that episode where they were just like shoving each other in the water, I'm like, dude, what men like do that to each other?
Right?
It just felt so odd. I'm like, dude, who does this? No guy does this to another guy. It's so weird.
No, that would be the point where like any normal dude would be punching the other person. Like they'd be throwing fists, wrestling on the fucking sand, beating the shit out of each other. Well, yeah. No, they have to do it in like the most like sappy like BL girl way possible.
Oh yeah, the confession. The dude goes like, "Dude, I love you, but I don't know if it's like romantic or friendship love."
Yeah, this one is another one where like there are parts of it that I really do enjoy, but at the same time, like
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yep, I'm with Jeremy.
I'm looking at muffler tape and I'm just sitting there like, oh Jesus.
Yeah. All right.
Like, what are these guys smoking?
Yeah.
To be Hero X, let's move on to something a little bit less gay, okay?
I don't know. It depends.
I gotta say, man, yeah, like it's over, right? So now you gotta sell me. Is it worth watching or not?
I think it's a cool show, to be entirely honest. I think like this show is like an 8.5, if I'm being fair. I don't like its storytelling structure. I feel like it is too scattered. It is an anthology, but I don't enjoy that like a lot of the characters just aren't as good. Like really the ones that I ended up caring about were Ghostblade, Ling Li, and X.
Okay.
So
and X, the coolest character of all of them, is at the very end of the show.
Gotcha. Crimson, did you watch Summer Pockets at all? Did you ever give that one a shot?
I gave it a shot. I put it in the binge bin.
Don't it's the same shit. Yeah, it's I unfortunately watched the whole thing on that one, and as soon as as you're describing this, that's what it becomes. It just bounces girl to girl to girl, and some of them are better than others, and it just takes a really fucking weird left turn on the end, and yeah, you can.
So like with To Be Hero X, the action is actually really cool.
Told you that sooner, man.
I wish I'd been following you. Sorry.
You do get a lot of like really cool fight scenes out of this, like the Queen and Boa fight. That was cool. Like Ling Li's first like 3 or 4 episodes, I think they're really good storytelling and action. Even like Isul has a cool fight, but I don't really care about Isul because he's a dickhead too.
Yep.
So when it comes to like storytelling, not my favorite thing. Probably could have been better if it had focused on one thing, to be entirely honest. I would have liked it more. But I do respect that it did its show very well. Like it's an entertaining show. So 8.5 for me. That's where I would put it. It's worth watching for the action. It's just it can be a little bit hard, especially when you get to the fucking cat boy, Little Johnny. I want to strangle that cunt.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I could have seen this coming too, and this was part of my fault because the thing is, with the start of the season, I really enjoyed it, and then when I found out that this was actually season 3 of the show, all right, I went back and looked at the first 2, and those were anthologies as well. So, gotta love Chinese storytelling in that capacity because, like, like only certain stories were good in my opinion. I mean, and I liked how they blended different animation techniques and styles. That's good and a technical achievement. But I mean, that's about all I can say about it. Yeah, I didn't finish it. So, Little Johnny, that bastard.
I think the Little Johnny hate is like universal.
Yeah.
Another piece of Chinese storytelling that I wasn't a huge fan of was Lord of the Mysteries. And this is one that I think got severely overhyped by its fandom. And that set it up for failure, combined with Tencent demanding 74 chapters of the original work be adapted in the first 3 episodes. That just seems insane to me.
When you have to watch supplemental material to understand what's happening, that is not a good storytelling experience, okay? It's like, oh, I got to go watch like a 10-minute short on YouTube to understand what just happened in that episode.
I had to watch the first episode twice to fully comprehend what I had just watched. The onboarding,
was shit.
Yeah, I was about to say the onboarding process for this one, it was terrible. First 3 episodes were so freaking rough. I don't see how people can call this a good adaptation unless they are specifically just staring at all of like the flashing lights and the movement, and going from there. Like it ends on a good note. Like the ending was actually like interesting. But I don't think the process of getting there was as good as a lot of people like to pretend. I think everyone just saw, oh my gosh, the animation and busted a nut.
Dude, I made it. I want to say like episode 7. So like I made it through that first 3 episodes that everyone was like, and where it slowed down a little bit. Like I was able to like kind of get through it. And again, like it goes back to my my comment about like Game of Thrones and stuff. Like if I have to stop down or like stop and like psych myself up to watch a show because I've got to get into a mindset where I've got to be like 100% dialed in and like to absolutely everything that's going on. It's like you're gonna, it's probably gonna get left. And I kept watching Summer Pockets. So what does that fucking tell you? So
and we're talking about a second watch. I don't think a series is good if it takes a second watch to completely comprehend everything. It's cool when you can watch a series again and get more out of it than you did the first time. But if I literally, when I say I watched the first episode twice, I mean, I watched it and didn't even know how to react to it. And I had to watch it again to make sure I fully comprehended the series of events that just unfolded.
It sounds like a more incompetent version of something like Steins Gate, to be frank, if that's the case, because the first 6 or 9 episodes of Steins Gate, you'd probably be really confused, and it's a lot of buildup, and then the second half is the full payoff, and everything makes sense at that point, right? So it's one of those things. You don't need a second watch in that capacity, though. It's only just, I want to watch it again because I liked it so much.
Yeah, and the follow-up to that is maybe if there had been like characters that I had actually cared for, I might have enjoyed this more. But I don't think they did much good characterization in this to make me actually care about anyone other than Old Man Neil. Like, you get a bunch of deaths for like throwaway characters is what it feels like. And the only one that ever really like hits hard is Old Man Neil. Because like he's the one who actually has like you actually get some like emotional background on him, and like you get a little bit of like work with him. Like he's the last person in his group that's still alive. Like his last friend just got killed. I think this one had a lot of potential, but I don't think it lived up to the hype that its fandom was pushing. I think that's its biggest downside is its fandom kind of drove this to be something to be something greater than what it was.
Well, kind of in that vein, like a question for you, Crimson and Arceus, like both, like as like content creators doing this stuff. I know Muffler Tape, you said you were starting to dabble on some of this, like
maybe.
Like, do you ever find yourself like watching an episode and be like, "Fuck, how am I going to talk about this?" Like, like when you're watching something, because like there's like every once in a while there's just like an episode where it's like, damn it. I feel like it's like I don't know how I would I'll just like I love jumping on a chat and listening to you guys talk. But,
if there's so much if there's so much thrown at you that it's not easy to understand, if you actually pay attention, bitch, what the fuck you think I'm doing? I don't speak Chinese. I have to pay attention to this shit.
I was actually going to ask a follow-up question on that. Like for the Chinese anime that are being made right now, the Donghua, like what's the I can't listen to the Chinese with subtitles. It's very grating on me compared to Japanese with subtitles personally.
Chinese, it's such a
I don't mean to be an ass about that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Chinese is kind of hard to listen to. I actually watched To Be Hero X dubbed. Because I found it a much more pleasant experience. Do
you think it's because they just don't have voice actors at the level yet, or you think it's just actually?
No, it's just like it's like the language.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of hard consonant sounds, and like when they're recording it, it comes across like they're hissing. There's a lot of plosives that come across rough when you're listening to it, in my opinion.
Chinese, and like French, I find really fucking hard to listen to.
It just sounds annoying too. At least in my perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, jerking off to Nagi would have been a better use of my time. I would have gotten some pleasure out of it.
To answer your question though, Jeremy, all the time, man, it just feels like I watch a lot of like episodes or just shows weekly that I'm just like, dude, how do you even like review this without like pissing people off or just like them trying to understand where you're coming from, and then like most of the time they don't want to understand where you're coming from, or you'll have some good people like Crimson out there that are like, okay, you know, like I'll respect your opinion, but like that's not mine, you know.
Yeah, and I tried to be as like neutral as possible when it came to Lord of the Mysteries when I did my review, being like, this thing isn't for me. I think its onboarding is terrible, but I don't think that reflects on the work overall. I still got called a low IQ moron. I was just like, all right, Lord of the Mystery fans are just fucking pretentious retards.
You just gotta find your group and, you know, kind of like this, and just be like, yeah, these people, you know, care about my opinion and respect me.
It's one of the things where like people get like really diehard fans of things, and I try not to be the person who like takes offense to someone talking about something I like in a negative way. It's one of those things where like when someone starts talking about like their personal taste on something, like if someone doesn't like ReZero, fine, I get it.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. I love the show. So like if you start talking about like if as long as it's a matter of like personal taste, that's cool. Like you like Lord of the Mysteries, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I didn't. It's not the kind of thing I want to watch. I'll acknowledge that the animation is great and that there's a lot of good things about it. But when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to character work, not a huge fan of either of those in this first season. Like it didn't sell me.
Well, on a like maybe like a more of a technical thing, what did you guys think of the 35, 40-minute episodes as opposed to the 22-minute?
I didn't personally finish the series. I think I got like 6 episodes in before I called it quits. The length, that's a tough question, man, because I think it needed it because of what the source material was, but I was like clocking out around like maybe 25 to like 26 minutes in. I'm not used to that. I don't watch a lot of 50-minute shows personally, probably because of my ADHD, but yeah, I mean, I think Lord of Mysteries needed it because they were like trying to give us a lot of content with the amount of chapters they were adapting, but I wouldn't prefer it.
Yeah, no, I think like it opened it up to like the point where it's like I wonder if some shows might start messing with that a little bit, because like a great example is like Amiko MD last season. Like how many episodes were or how many of the arcs were like 2-episode arcs that where it's like it's an episode of House. It's a 1 hour block of television. Like it's the mystery gets told in that 40 minutes or whatever, you know. It's like, so it's like I kind of wish some of the other ones might embrace it a little bit when the storytelling kind of demands it, you know, as opposed to like literally blue balling us every other episode, you know. And so like I just like I'm hoping maybe there's like a little bit of a push for some of that. Yeah.
I do understand that. I've seen there were definitely a couple examples this season of animes that aired where I'm like, man, I wish you could have just dropped both those episodes instead of me having to wait for the second part of it, basically. So I understand.
I think it's going to depend on whether or not they're broadcast television or not in Japan, because if it's not on broadcast TV and it's strictly released on like a streaming platform over there and then it's licensed overseas, I think that does open up the capability of them changing the length of episodes to match whatever arc they're trying to cover in a given length of time and stuff like that. But if it's broadcast, then I think the most you can hope for is like maybe like an hour-long special occasionally where it'll be like 40 to, you know, somewhere around there. And normally that's like for your first episode or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some shows do occasionally do extended episodes, but then you're only really pushing 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But to wrap up the very good category for tonight, we're going to talk about Detectives These Days Are Crazy. Probably my favorite insane comedy of the series, of the season.
That's praise.
It's a hard number 2 for me, but that's just because you haven't watched Grand Blue yet. Once
Yeah,
you do,
I will be
once you
catching
do,
up
that will
on that.
change. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you
I think
missed
this next
Grand Blue.
season. I think this next season I'm gonna have a binge slot for the week, and Grand Blue will probably fit in there somewhere. Like right now, I'm trying to get through Campfire Cooking in Another World, just because I gotta fill that trashy sky slot. You know,
Dude. Oh yes, that is my only show that I watch in dub, and it's because it's my dog's voice in my head. You know, from now on, like, and just it's like that looks delicious. Feed it to me.
That's crazy. You didn't watch Grand Blue Crimson. I would say it's probably up your alley, man. It's hilarious.
we will see. I'm probably good. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But when it comes to this season, it just didn't fit into anything that I was, any time slot that I could manage. So, with detectives these days are crazy. I thought this was a pretty funny series. Wasn't a huge fan of the ending of it. I thought it probably could have been a little stronger, but I thought this was going to be one where I was just going to watch a couple episodes and drop it, but I actually ended up really loving like the batshit sense of humor. Like the moment you started making Nipple Tasting Man a recurring character, like it got out of hand. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm along for the ride.
That 100%. Like I dragged my feet on it, and
Bro's
Yeah,
reaction
I'm
there
like-
was just like,
You sure about that? Sorry.
No, dude, it is literally, if Muffler Tip, if you haven't watched it, man, it is exactly as Crimson is selling it, which is not every anime is exactly as Crimson sells it. This one is 100% as Crimson sells it. Like it's just
hey man,
something
all
else.
I can do is give you my opinion on things. It's up to you to determine whether my opinion matches yours or not. But yeah, it's like I like Mashiro as a character. Like she's literally just the dumb muscle, the dumb muscle, the old man, the young guy who constantly gets like sidelined by everyone else, and his pretend tsundere assistant.
And she is so funny, like the assistant. Oh, like the blonde assistant.
Maki, yes.
Oh my god, like she's amazing in like every season episode that she's in. Like it just no. It's,
How about the scientist girl? So where are you from? My dad's testicles at one point.
just I mean it's that level of humor and that type of humor, and if that's your
Alright,
thing,
you're
like
telling me.
it really and again that is one Muffler Tape, like just like Grand Blue, you will know by the end of 22 minutes of the first episode whether or not this is something you're going to enjoy, like 100%, because the rest of it is just exactly the same thing, just different levels of jokes and stuff. So yeah, you'll know in an episode.
Heck yeah.
Okay, that wraps up that. We've talked about Hikaru and Witch Watch. Any of you guys watch Onmyo Kaiten?
No, I didn't.
Nope.
All right, then I'll make this one quick. This is a cool series that is kind of just like you watch one season of it, you finish it up. It has some really good twists, kind of a like crazy creative setting with like this techno-futuristic Heian era Japan. Weird magic and everything. Like ultimately its plot is a little bit like far-fetched. And because it tries to like blend magic and technology, like there's some like time travel and multiverse stuff going on in here. There is a psycho bitch though. So I guess if you're into crazy women, there's that for you. It's a cool series. Turned out to be better than what I expected. But in the end, its storytelling might not be like the most fleshed out thing out there. Like the author knows how to pull some really good twists, but they need a better grasp on like the basics in order to like fully become like one of those great authors, I think. Like if this was a first project for someone, I would be like, okay, try again. I'm really excited to see what you would do. So yeah, this stays in the interesting category. The Assassin Princess, or the Shy Hero and the Assassin Princess. Everyone's favorite Dami Mommy. And the second series this season where an OP dude can get one-shotted by the touch of a woman.
It's just fun. Like, and again, adds way more plot than it ever deserved, you know, like, and you know, and compelling characters that are actually flushed out. Like, I thought it was a blast. I really enjoyed this one.
It's an enjoyable series. It's a gimmick show with heart. Yeah. And I feel like the gimmick has enough variance to it. And it's coupled with like good character development and everything. So it doesn't really get old. Would I watch another season of this? Potentially, to be entirely honest. But I think that it is absolutely like worth watching a season 1 of it. But it's not something where like, yeah, it's one of those shows where I see a lot of people like watching it being like, all right, that was fun, let's move on. I don't see this being like a good long running show.
No, I if it gets a second season, I mean, I'll definitely check it out. But again, like, there will be a point in time where that gag will run its course. Like, you know, but like, again, like, it's, you know, and when, yeah, Marcel's giving me shit, but that's fine. Like, there's maybe plot's too strong, but compelling character development and stuff like that. Like, all of them fighting with like maybe this camaraderie is something that actually I needed in my life. It's a neat theme, like, to go on, especially from the 3 different backgrounds and all of this other stuff. And you have a woman who's like walking around with volleyballs on her chest, which is just, you know, entertaining.
Always great, you know?
Level. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So this, like I said, like, the animation for this, not spectacular. There are some good moments. But overall, it does look like one of those shows that were like they were trying to just produce a season of it because they felt like they could, you know, maybe get some profit out of it and then move on.
Yeah.
I did like some of the character designs, and like the character development for it was a good touch. Like I said, it's a gimmick series with heart.
Yeah. To go a little bit more on that. I do agree with you guys with that. The joke was probably just going to get very stale if this does get a season 2. And I was feeling that definitely halfway in. And I was going to decrease my ranking on the show, but I think the last couple episodes, especially the arc with Goa and the dream and everything, made me kind of realize that this is more about a show like that's kind of getting the 3 girls to kind of, I think, stop, you know, like, they're not going to assassinate them, which we all, you know, I think are kind of aware of. And it's more just them just, you know, like, bonding and, you know, just having a good time with each other, I felt like. And when I thought about the series like that, it made me, like, appreciate it more.
100%. It's a great, well said.
Then we get to Yaiba, and Yaiba is actually one that I feel better about now that the season has ended, than I did while it was running. Like, these last couple of episodes have severely improved my impression of it. Unlike Naruto, this one actually pulled off a good Kaguya appears out of nowhere moment.
Fair enough.
And in this one, Kaguya is a hot chick in a bunny suit, so I guess there's a selling point for you.
A muffler tape with the reaction again. All right, there we go.
It's like, all right then, okay,
Yeah.
you have me. You have my interest.
So, my overall impression of Yaiba season 1 is that it starts out on a really good note, and I would have enjoyed it if it had kept in the line of, like, you know, we just have these 2 dudes who are, you know, rivals going at it with, like, you know, like in like a kendo sort of style. But we do get into a little bit more of the supernatural stuff, and there is some cool stuff, like with Onimaru getting like the Oni powers and all of that, and Yaiba like pursuing all of the different orbs of power, and ultimately unlocking the dragon orb. You get some really cool fights. Like the first like Onimaru fight where like they're both still human and they're just, you know, like fighting each other in the street and everything and like running on the backs of trucks and all that. That was cool as shit. Then you get to a character called Bat Guy, and that fight was also pretty cool. You get the second Onimaru fight. I forget which city that is in, but that was really cool. They did a really good job with that. And then the final battle here where Kaguya shows up, there's a lot of great animation, a lot of great moments for it. I feel like the storytelling is a little bit too zany for my taste at times. Like, it is very old school shonen in how it wants to do things. Like, it definitely has a lot of like old school like shonen tropes to it, but it's not necessarily bad, and it can be entertaining in and of its own right. There are points where like you kind of get where I kind of got tired of it, but I think overall it pulls off a good show. And I do agree, Marcel. Yaiba had a great finale. The fights look awesome, and then Kaguya is pretty damn hot, yes. And she has the whole haughty personality of ho ho ho.
Is this one that has like 500 volumes? You know, that are waiting to be adapted, or
I'm not sure.
Relatively new.
I am not sure. This is a remake of like an old school shonen anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So as far as I know, the original had like 52 episodes, but that's not guaranteeing that they adapted everything.
Gotcha. So relatively decent chance, as long as this one did all right, that it'll get a season 2.
I'm pretty sure it's getting a season 2 with where they stopped.
Nice.
Yeah, it's getting a season 2, and same with Hikaru Dies.
Okay.
I'll probably end up watching both of those, like season 2s.
So, Yaiba, the manga, had 24 volumes and 255 chapters.
Okay, so you could probably get a decent run out of it.
Yeah, probably a decent run.
That's cool. But I guess like Food Court, if you guys really want to talk about that, because Food Court was cool. It was a nice like short little like comedy series.
Didn't check it out. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Biggles forced me to.
No, I didn't, man. I dropped after an episode. It just is Lucky Star, but with food.
It's basically just like comedy centered around these two chicks talking to each other at a food court. Like basically each episode is 2 or 3 like jokes that they set up, and they're often like something like simple, but they have this whole like setup to it. So like there's one where like they are like drawing on people like to imitate a manga. So the blonde Gyaru girl draws the kanji for meat on the other girl's head, but she thought it was erasable marker, but it was permanent marker.
Sure, that went over well.
Yeah. It's an entertaining show, but it's not one that I think is like you have to watch it. But like, if you want a 6-episode comedy, it's decent enough. And the same kind of goes for City, to where like this is a short anime as far as I understand. It's kind of like brain rot comedy, like it's just a bunch of stupid stuff. And I think the funniest bit is the rich chick who goes around and like people doing like mundane things and just like, I want to give him an award. Like he was really nice to that old lady. I want to give him an award. And they have this whole like tower of trials to where like if you can escape the tower, you don't have to go through the go through like the whole banquet that they're going to throw you or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. City is it's a very weird one. If you're not a fan of Nichijou, you're probably not going to be a fan of this. Yeah, and as far as Food Court goes, yes, the banter was good. That was an entertaining part of it. But I feel like as 6 episodes, it's good. And then we come to Game Center Girl.
The infamous one.
The one that's going back down in the okay category.
Yeah.
So as far as this anime goes, it would have been cool. This is another one, kind of like with Hikaru. It would have been better without the romance angle. Like, it would have been much better if just Momoko and Renji, the 2 adult characters, had their own romance going in the background that the girls were watching, and it just focused on Lily and friends, having a good time at the arcade.
Absolutely, man. It just reminds me of just like Private Tutor, man. Like why isn't he ending up with the girl his age?
Like you literally have best, like in both cases, you literally have best girl right there, and you're not going for her. Like in Private Tutor's case, like I don't know how that guy didn't just like immediately like, all right, you know what? You like me, I like you. Let's go for it.
In Private Tutor, do the girls actually like fight over him?
Did
yes.
you finish that, Crimson? Like,
I dropped it after they like hunt the griffin or whatever for the orb for the hot springs.
Okay, yeah, I got an episode or two past you on that one before I finally gave up. It just was a little too much.
Yeah. So
too
to
much
explain,
middle school girls.
To explain Arceus, what happens is that so you know the chick that he was tutoring, the ice girl who had like the hawk spirit or whatever inside her.
Yeah.
Okay, so she is fighting with best girl's younger sister.
Oh gosh.
Oh, for attention.
Yeah,
I think there's also a little sister in there at some point too. So
yeah, his little sister is like a senior in high school, and and then both her and her two roommates also want to jump on the pole with him. Like, I mean, it's somehow this dude just has like I don't know.
He's got that Minecraft riz.
Whatever it is, man, like it doesn't matter if they're 13 or 30. They all want to get on it, and it never gets explained why. And that was
the red-haired tsundere heiress clone was absolutely best girl, and I
but she wasn't even an heiress clone. Like, I mean,
I know, but it's fun to refer to her as that.
And like the dude's like, I know it's the whole anime stereotype, but the dude's like, he like failed, like didn't he like fail something and he got assigned to be like a tutor? It's like, why the heck? What's so special about this?
They have an explanation for that. He passed the test, but the guy he beat in the test was like a prince or something, and basically bitched at everyone until they made him fail.
Yeah, it was like the crowned prince, so he got like basically got boned by politics and stuff, and his
he was also pissed off that red-haired girl really likes the main character.
Yeah.
And because he's in love with red-haired girl, and he basically like tried to force her into marrying him, and it's a whole fucking.
It's and unlike getting to watch it with Silent Witch, where that's how you do a compelling school story and a fantasy thing, this was like aristocrat magic stuff, like solely. Like there's virtually like no commoner. Like the only commoner that comes in is like a maid and stuff, but it's all like it's aristocrat. But then this dude's broke as shit, but he's got all these girls trying to it just it doesn't make any sense. Like
I watched one episode and I realized it just was not for me from where it looked like it was going.
I watched a couple of episodes. I'm like, okay, maybe this has potential. There's actually like this chick who like would be a proper romance option. Oh, we're not gonna pursue this. He is actively denying it because he's not nobility. Okay, this is retarded. And the same thing kind of goes for cultural exchange. It's like this dude has not only like this little like 13, 14-year-old English girl crushing on him because of a stupid ass misunderstanding, but now also his younger cousin who is like 12 is crushing on him.
Dude, that's got to be a Japanese thing then, because it's got to be more popular over here or over there than it is over here. So.
And it would be one thing if it was just kind of like a I don't know, an unplayed on element. Like, okay, there's like this one joke where they make a thing about like, you know, some younger girl having a crush on a college guy. Okay, whatever. That's not uncommon for, you know, younger girls to have a crush on an older guy. When I was in high school, there was like an 8-year-old girl who had a crush on me at church. It was kind of weird, and I was like, I had to be like, okay, how do I handle this without like ruining this kid's childhood?
Yeah, and
man.
It's also
get back. You don't know me like that.
But when there's like a level of innocence to it, It's a different thing than this.
Sure.
Where this is like genuine romantic interest.
It's
like,
kind of
that's not
implying that there is a chance that Renji actually develops feelings for this chick, and that's the kind of part that weirds me out.
And it's all because of a misunderstanding, man. Like, because of the whole Valentine's out. It's like, really?
You have, and again, you have best girl right there. Kendo chick, Momoko. Like, what's not to like about Momoko?
Yeah, another anime I should have dropped.
I have to finish it at this point because there are like, unlike with Private Tutor, there are genuinely good elements to this. Like, I like the whole friendship thing that's going on here. Like Lily, like getting used to a new country and everything. That part's cool. Just drop the romance; it would have been a much better anime.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed even the gaming tournament that episode like they had and everything. Like you said before, if they just focused on like Lily and her group of friends that played games at an arcade and Renji was like a background character, this show would have been so much better.
Like, you have a great reason to have him in there as a background character. His little sister is friends with Lily. Like,
yes.
He can just be sort of there, and like Lily is the person who's like, all right, my brother works at this arcade. Maybe we can, like weasel some like free tokens or something out of him. And that's how you get into the story. You're good. You're good to go. But like, it got to the point where like Renji is sitting there, like not just like using like the readily available excuse of like, no, I'm not interested in your younger daughter, because
dude, the father's the MVP.
Yeah. The father's the only one with any fucking sense, apparently. And it annoys me that that's the case. But yeah, this one, I won't be watching any more of this after this season. Like, I'm done once this is finished. Kind of same with New Saga. New Saga had potential, man. It started out good. Like, the first episode, I was like, oh, you know what? I kind of like this. And then from there, it was just like, nope. We're gonna have you, like kiss your childhood friend and everything, and tell her you love her and all that, and do all this stuff. And then we're not gonna do any sort of romantic progression. And instead, we're gonna add your other lover in here just for the fucking conflict. Why? Don't know.
That was. I will go to bat. I liked New Saga quite a bit, but that was such a missed opportunity. And like, I gotta imagine. It's got to be relevant in like 2 chapters past where they stopped, like, because like, why would you bring them both in if you weren't gonna fuck with that in a big way, like, and make it one more thing he has to deal with? Like, if I had one complaint about that structure was, and I think you had mentioned it the other day, was like, he seems to get over each hurdle just a little too easily without being nefarious or underhanded enough to justify how easily the hurdle is crossed over. Which is just kind of a bummer, because like, you get these glimpses and moments in this story where it's like, damn, you're cheating, you're tunneling to get to the sword. That's actually fucking brilliant and hilarious, and it's a really good use of all of this stuff. But then like, if you're gonna do that, you can't use that same level to get past everything. Like, you need to have some more issues come up, because every time you do something, you should be fucking with the timeline. It goes back to the time travel story, element. Like, it's really hard to write that well, because things should be getting progressively more and more muddied as you go, and yet it seems like each time Kyle's running into something, it's happening exactly how he remembered it, and he happened to have met every single person in this world prior to this, and so, and got to know their backstories in a bar or something too. So it just, that hurt a little bit, but I'm willing to see past it because I enjoyed the setting and the idea of it.
I think the most enjoyable part of this whole show was Theron, to be entirely honest. Like, Kyle was the best character, but Theron was the one I enjoyed having around the most. And like, bro deserved some fucking pussy at some point. Like, for all the work he puts in, like, they kept cucking him and everything.
Dude, when he tries to nab the demon, Like, well, you said anything. Like, yeah, that was
Well,
was
can I take you
glorious.
up on your offer
Yeah.
to sleep with me?
Yeah. Oh man, that was awesome.
And even the demon girl was like, "Oh, I could go with Kyle and everything." The two girls were like, "No." I think what really sucks about New Saga, besides everything that you guys both pointed out, is that I started reading the manga before it released, and clearly it adapted the light novel, which I think is what my anime list says. But the problem is that they went really into the story, into the manga, at least what I read of it, and they like didn't even address like anything really like of it in the anime besides like the basics of the characters and the stories. So I really think that they should have kept the demons concealed, like I said on my stream, because they were like making demons this like, oh my gosh, they're not supposed to like come out, and they like hunt in the nights, and like they're not supposed to have contact with humans basically. And then you just make them have contact with them in the last couple episodes, and it's like, what are you even doing? Like, they go back to the Demon Queen, and it's like, oh, these humans attacked us, and it's like what? Like, I felt like they just didn't even like stick to the source material, at least of the manga.
Well, and worse than that, they even have Kyle and Theron actually have a dialogue in that last episode talking about like, what did you think about interacting with demons? Like, I didn't think. I mean, yeah, they're strong, but I didn't think they were all that. And you were like, it's quite literally doing the inverse of what you were saying. And it was like, yeah, they must have really took a left turn from what the source was, because they literally go and address it and say like, nah, like they're not all that. And yeah, so it was a choice.
Exactly, man. And I think the problem is that the anime was in production, I think, since like 2022, if I can remember correctly.
Ooh, okay.
And I think because it released like 3 years later, and it got to a studio that I don't think has a lot of like a good resume. Basically, they just kind of were like, let's just we announced it, let's just animate what we have, and then boom, like call it.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Especially with exactly what you guys like legit said, like it had potential to be a great like Returner's Magic should be special type premise, but it just felt like they were like, let's just write, these girls like them, demons, fantasy.
Yeah, it basically threw the kitchen sink in there. I was just like, fuck it, we'll see if it works.
So anyway, that's my bad. I was the one that was like hyping it up all season, and then I like got halfway through, and I'm like, okay, well, they didn't really do anything. So,
well, no, but again, like they kept like every single step they took, it was like 3/4 of the way there. Like it wasn't everything they did wasn't a misstep. It didn't quite ever reach what it should have reached.
No, there were a lot of interesting arcs that they could have done with this. I just feel like they should have taken more time to do those arcs because they would have been better. It would have made the story feel a little bit more fleshed out rather than giving the impression that Kyle is like speedrunning everything.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do 2 more, and then if you have a couple of other ones that you want to talk about on this list, we can go over it. I don't know why this is here. This is supposed to be in the not for me category.
That is season 2. No, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'll be honest, I can't see any of them anyway, so that's like.
Sorry.
That's
so that's Sakamoto days.
Gotcha.
We got the Water Magician and then Vending Machine. So the Water Magician, I won't be watching this again. I'm done. Like the Water Magician, it was okay. It had like one really interesting moment with like the eclipse and the demon girl. And then after that, there was a bunch of like dumb shit basically. And the only other moment that like kind of interested me was like when the elf girl is like sitting there like, why do I miss this guy? Why do I miss this guy? And the only reason is because I am an elf lover.
Well, I am not an elf lover. And we'll come back and say the last episode, the whole time I'm watching this, it was like, where the hell has this been all season? because like the conflict with the fire mage was all of a sudden, man, like when you see the eyes, like our main character just turn into like, you fucked with my friends, like he becomes Inigo Montoya, and it's like, and like, holy crap, you're actually an interesting character. Like all of a sudden actually doing something with the elf girl romance. And then like it was like all of a sudden all this stuff starts moving forward, and it's like, where the fuck have you been for 12 episodes? Like, you know, like it took forever to get to this point. So I, as pissed as I am, I will watch this if it gets a second season, because I feel like something might actually happen now. Now, I could be wrong, but I'd be willing to give it a shot.
It still feels like it comes off as very generic.
Yeah,
and in a lot of ways, it does similar things to like it has a similar like world, I guess you could say, to Mushoku Tensei. But in Mushoku Tensei, it feels so much more natural. Like everything just feels like it's very professionally written. This seems like a copy paste sort of anime. Where other anime, Rush, Water Mage should have picked up the pace a little. Not a whole lot happened, but yeah, I liked how he became a petty little MF. Yeah, like Rio being petty, like that kind of thing happening more often throughout this season probably would have made him a much more interesting character to me. But he just comes off as so like absolutely happy-go-lucky, nothing can faze me.
Yeah.
That it doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like an actual character. He just kind of seems like he's there. The animation, like the intro, like gives you one impression, like, oh, this studio knows what they're fucking doing. This is cool. And then you watch the anime and it's like, oh, okay, maybe they don't know what they're doing. It also doesn't get very creative with its lore. Like it does a bunch of like dungeon and adventure guilds kind of stuff, and it goes into like the very basic like descriptions of everything, like you got your A rank, D rank, all that kind of stuff, basic magic, all that thing. The most creative thing it did, like I said, was the whole eclipse thing with the demon girl showing up. That was cool. I thought that was a really unique world element that happens there. You have this eclipse. Rio gets singled out and has to fight this ridiculously powerful enemy who is only able to be there during an eclipse.
Yeah, no, and it was cool as shit. And again, and even in that moment, he didn't have like Rio never went into that like killer mode, like, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. And that's why like when he snapped into that, like in that last episode, it was like, oh damn, like this is the first time I've seen your facial expression change, like in 12 episodes. Like this is actually getting interesting. And of course it was like the end of the fucking season. So, you know,
I don't ever really think it got interesting, but that's just me.
If it's based on a manga, maybe it'd be worth reading the manga then in that case.
It had like 2 cool moments, and everything else was just like, I'm only subjecting myself to this because it's not bad enough to drop.
Yeah.
But it's not good enough for me to want to watch it again.
Well, and see, I'm surprised you stuck with this one and dropped Scooped Up, like in comparison, because Scooped Up was a lot more entertaining than this was. I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying it was more entertaining. So
because I like
Elf Girls.
I do like that, but it's more so like I'm sick and tired of this kind of story. Like this exact story trope. I have had enough of it. It's like, sure, I love tacos. Tacos are great. But if you feed me nothing but tacos for 4 months, I'm going to punch you in the fucking mouth.
Well, there's a blue hair taco mage in that one that was worth going back every week, in my opinion. So
taco mage. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, you were talking about tacos, and I was saying there was a taco I was willing to go back on that one, you know, week to week for. So.
I know what you're saying. Anyway, you're into them blue-haired feminist types. I didn't realize that.
Not that at all. There's other assets that, you know, you will always have my attention. And she was very, very well endowed there, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Anyway, I feel like the Water Mage is another one that had potential to be something cool, but just didn't do the right things to actually be interesting to me.
It literally it zagged where it should have zigged at just about every turn.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it would have been cooler to see like a longer journey from like with I forget what the
red-haired dude. Yeah.
Like it would have been cool to see like a long, like extended journey of just those two surviving out in the wilderness, like passing through these dangerous areas and everything. Rather than just like 1 or 2 episodes and then they're in town. I think that probably would have made it a bit more interesting of a series to me. And if the animation had been a little bit more like if it hadn't been like on the edge and it had focused more on storytelling, or if it had just like straight up gone like, all right, we're going to go bonkers on the animation and then solo leveling the story, I still would have been more interested. But this one literally ended up, it wasn't hot or cold. It was lukewarm.
I think that's fair.
One that I don't think I can stomach any more of I cannot do vending machine anymore. I'm done. Vending machine is done.
I don't even know why you tried.
Oh no, boo! I love vending machine.
Bro, how is it getting a season 3 when there's no light novel content left?
Because
God, that's gonna be bad.
This anime is like, okay, we talked all night about some really great animes that surpassed our expectations because we just didn't have anything going into it. Vending machine sets you with a negative expectation to begin with because it's about a fucking vending machine. Like, so you were already starting with a negative score.
Incorrect. It is about fucking a vending machine.
Okay, well,
wait, did they go farther with that?
Yeah, no. I mean, like, the point is, like, you are starting with such a low bar, and then the minute somebody comes back and's like, "Hey, I kind of laughed a bit during this. Hey, that was kind of fun. Hey, there's actually some story in this. Like, hey, like Marcel, so the main girl's kind of cute. Okay, like it's like whatever, I'll give it a shot." And then you start watching it, and you're like, "This is so much better than it has any right to be." And that's just why I'll keep going to bat for this one. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's better than it has any right to be for being a show about an isekai vending machine.
I hate it, but to be fair, you are right that it is better than it has any right to be. Like animation and all that kind of stuff. Like there are a lot of good, like genuinely good things about this that I will praise this for. But right now, I would say that this is a show that would definitely benefit from being binged. And the weekly release, watching it weekly, I don't think was worth it. I did not enjoy the series by the end of it. And at that point, like, I'm also kind of sick of the vending machine thing. Like, it was a crazy novel idea. Like, yeah, this is cool, but there's only so much of people being in love with a vending machine that I can take.
Yeah, but like, Hulami's awesome. She yeah.
But what about a vending machine that had inflatable blow-up elf dolls? That it, would that?
I would steal that vending machine and put it in my basement. So yeah, that is everything that I have, where I'm going to finish for the season right there. Is there anything else you guys want to get to, or do you want to shortcut it and just ignore the rest of these so that I can get to the rest of the stream before midnight?
Yeah, dude. If you want to speed run, I think like the only other one that I watched that I was curious, like if you had ever gotten into, did you ever give A Couple of Cuckoos a shot?
I watched 17 episodes of season 1, and wanted to bludgeon my fucking skull in.
Fair enough. All right, nope, enough said.
Togenanki, I'm on like episode 3 of that one. That one seems like a 7. Like it's a very mid shonen from what I can tell. But again, I'm gonna watch for Blondie, so we'll see what happens with that.
Okay, so that's Togenanki. That will
short-haired blonde. Yeah.
All right. Yep. We'll be adding that to my watch list.
But I mean, yeah, a lot of these other ones you can probably hear my thoughts on already. I think I have done videos on like literally every one of these, except for this. My opinion has changed since I made my video on that. But yeah, it's like I got rid of these for a reason, and a lot of them we actually did kind of touch on, or I have said my thoughts previously, so I don't feel like I need to say anything about that. Really quickly, though, I will share this and talk really quickly about the 3 anime that I have seen that have come out, and then kind of move into talking about like what's upcoming for fall. So right now we got 3 entries. We have a wild villainess appears. That's not where I wanted to go. That one goes in interesting. The animation is really cool. I want to see more of it before I like commit like a full judgment to it, but it has my attention right now. And effectively the premise is that this dude beats a video game and gets like a bonus quest that reincarnates him into that video game as his character. And it's a chick with wings.
Interesting.
And all of the lore and stuff that he made up for this character that was incorporated into the game is this world. So like everyone knows his character as like this evil conqueror and everything.
Okay.
It's an interesting show, and I'm trying to. I'm doing this some injustice because I'm trying to speed run this.
Gender bender vibe a little bit too, but yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Basically, think like a rougher version of Overlord right now.
Okay.
It's better than Apocalypse Bringer Minora in that one.
Vic Mignogna.
Yeah, Apocalypse Bringer Vic Mignogna. But it's worse than Overlord in that department. So as of yet, I have nothing. The only thing I've seen that's been good was like the very first fight scene that really took my interest. I want to see how they play off of that. Then we have episode 0 of The Dusk After the End of the World. Interesting. Got some like weird like pseudo incest relationship going on. Basically this dude gets adopted into a family after his parents get killed in a car accident. He falls in love with basically the girl he is raised with as his sister. But it's kind of a mutual thing. And one of the things there's a whole scene where it implies that like she's looking at pictures of him and then turns everything off and goes to like finger herself with thoughts of him.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So here's exactly how the scene goes. He has pictures of this guy. She's like, I mean, lately though, like he's been really. And then she turns her AI companion off and rolls over in bed, and you hear a zzz, and then the next scene is her washing her hands.
Yeah,
Like they're very clearly like she was fingering herself.
I have a feeling that one will not be on Crunchyroll. And
there's nothing. Anyway, it gets interesting because episode 0 is basically like this whole like setup episode, and it ends with the main character taking like 3 bullets to the fucking back, trying to protect his sister, who is his fiance at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, during the first episode, he basically skips all the way from younger brother to fiance.
All right.
Okay then. All right.
And then he wakes up in the apocalypse after getting shot. So yeah, again, I'm doing it some injustice because I'm trying to speedrun this. And then we have Classless Hero. Oh, no, it goes here in the okay category. 1 or 2 more episodes, I'm most likely going to drop this. That's all I'm gonna say. It's mid. It's fucking mid.
Okay. Sounds like my specialty. So
it's complete trash.
Arceus doesn't like it. I don't like it. Jeremy's gonna love it.
Yeah, probably. Like, are there chicks with big tits? Like, then yeah, probably will probably be fine. So
no, but there's a lonely older sister who wants to fuck her brother.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the brother fucking, but you know, well,
Sweet home Alabama.
Yeah.
All right.
Incest is wincest, I guess.
I just think of Joe Dirt. That's all I can say. Oh, you're my sister.
Okay, so this is the last thing of the night. I thought the fights are pretty cool so far. I'm not entertained by it, but So I mean, this season seems kind of sparse for me because there are a lot of anime on here that I'm either like I've already like had my experience with and don't really want to touch, or I'm just not interested in. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm allergic to shit anime.
Spy Family is fine. Don't shit on Spy Family.
It's all right.
One Punch Man season 3. I'm gonna watch it because I like One Punch Man. I don't know how to feel about it though.
Facts.
Skipping Spy Family. I didn't even touch season 2.
Yeah, see, I've read. I'm current on the manga and stuff. I again, it's one I can watch with my kids. So
That sucks, Crimson. You're gonna miss the best arc, so we'll enjoy it without you.
What is season 3 going to be adapting the cruise arc?
it should be the cruise line. That's
Okay. I may actually look at that then.
yeah. The cruise line's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
like, it's a fun one.
Have fun. I'd sooner punt on you off a bridge than have to deal with it.
I'm sorry, it's not pinky up enough for you, Crimson. You know.
No. This is pretentious, Crimson. Like I just had a whole season where I was busting my ass off to keep up with anime, man. I am being harsh this season.
Fair enough.
My Hero Academia probably will watch season 7 just to get caught up so I could finish this out, just because I know my friends are going to want to watch it. Skipping To Your Eternity.
Yeah,
I'm not interested. I know a lot of people love this show. I hate it.
It struck me as Depression Quest, so that's why I was not interested in it originally.
This one I will watch, but because I liked the first light novel, but I can almost guarantee you it's going to turn into a love triangle thing, and you're going to hear me fucking screaming at my mic about love triangles again this season.
It's by the Days with My Stepsister author.
Oh, that may be good actually. Then Days with My Sister was good.
This one I might just keep watching because the teacher down here, I kind of like her character. I'm like the Persona fandom. I want to fuck the teacher.
Of course.
Why are you here, teacher?
I'm watching.
That actually was fun. Like, yeah.
I'm watching season 1 of Campfire Cooking. I like the English dub of this so far, and it's a very easy thing for me to binge and catch up on over the weekend.
English dub, and wait to do your reviews until the English dubs come out, because it's the English dub guy for the dog is so damn funny. And if you have ever owned a dog, this show is absolutely hysterical.
Uncle Phil.
I'm almost tempted to skip My Hero Academia at this point because I know how the series ends, and like I don't care enough about I'm not committed enough to the series to actually like want to finish it.
You're not gonna miss much, Crimson.
Okay then, I guess I'm not watching My Hero Academia. That makes things easier for me.
Yeah.
I will be watching this though. We watched the trailer for this on Big O's stream. This actually looks like it could be cool.
What is this?
It's the villainous one about the chick who loves to go around beating the shit out of people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, she gets dumped by her fiance and then basically takes up a life of just beating the shit out of people.
That sounds awesome.
Ranma and a half. Gonna watch this one because I liked Ranma, the first part of Ranma.
Is this just a continuation of the Netflix one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Absolutely skipping Let This Grieving Soul Retire. Fuck that show.
Hard to
Okay, I'll
I'm
watch
thinking
it.
about that too.
Sorry.
That's
I cannot take
trash.
any more of that. I cannot. It is degrading my soul.
I feel like there were like 4 identical animes that season when that came out. I do remember it, but it was like, I think what made it exceptionally bad was that like there was that what was it, Wind Talker or something like that, or and there was like 1 or 2 other ones that were like all really similar in tone, like just changed, like You could literally just move pieces from one to the other, and they were all interchangeable.
I will defend Thick Thighs Girl, though, okay? Like, that is the one shining point of that fucking anime.
Tino can absolutely, like, do the Kabadon on me with her legs. I would 100% be okay with that.
But yeah.
I'm going to give this one a shot because it seems like a decent trash fantasy anime.
Can you read titles, man? Just because I don't think I can zoom in enough to actually be able to read it.
Sorry. This is my status as an assassin obviously exceeds the heroes.
Gotcha.
This monster wants to eat me. Sorry, I'm not into Yuri, so I probably won't touch that one.
Yep.
I mean, when it comes to doujins, yes. When it comes to storytelling, no. I have not seen any Gintama, so I won't be watching that, unfortunately.
Yep.
Sanda, I think you guys know I'm all in on Sanda right here. This looks like it's gonna be fucking insane, and I gotta see it.
Have you read it, man?
No, I haven't.
No.
I know it's by the guy who made Beastars, and it's animated by Science Saru.
Oh, that sounds interesting, then.
So this is gonna be the trailer looks insane. I think this one's gonna be fun. Also Christmas anime. So
okay. Tales
of Wedding Rings, season 2.
Peak.
It's just horny Lord of the Rings. Fuck off,
dude. Again, that is porn, or like plot getting in the way of porn, but like it's fun. Like,
dude, it's peak, man. It's peak.
Yeah.
I couldn't with this show.
You should give it another shot, man.
I agree.
Fuck, you guys are gonna subject me to doing this. Oh shit, I gotta catch up on Isekai Quartet. That comes out this season too.
Yep.
Yeah, man, catch up on Isekai Quartet and Tales of Wedding Rings. I promise. Season 2 of Tales of Wedding Rings gets good.
I am going to slap your ass if we ever meet up in person.
Come on down here in Florida, man.
My senpai is awkward or something like that. I forget what that actually is. This one looks like it could be fun, so I'm gonna watch it. Bukio no Senpai, or not Senpai. Isekai Quartet, already talked about that. Hero Without a Class, kind of talked about that. Chitose is in a ramen bottle.
So what's really interesting
I'll try
about
it. A lot of people speak very highly of this one, so I'll try it.
What's interesting is people are telling me that it's like Bunny Girl Senpai, and I just don't see it.
Which one?
Chitose.
Huh.
So I'm gonna check it out just because people said that, but if they're wrong, man.
Yeah. We've kind of talked about these two already. So that's Dusk Beyond the End of the World, and A Wild Last Boss appeared. Kakurio, Bed and Breakfast for Spirit season 2. It's a season 2 of a show I haven't watched, so pass. My Gift level 99 unlimited gacha. Or 9999
9999.
I'll check it out for a couple of episodes. This is just because like action fantasy bullshit. But it's another stabbed in the back by my party in a dungeon I became the strongest story.
Except he summons Pokemon girls, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, he summons them?
Yeah, I think he wins a gacha, so he gets partners that are level 99. He's not powerful; they're powerful.
Yeah, he's the one. He's the one fucking the Lopunny in the God of War.
All right, now I'm actually a little more intrigued by this. Okay, all right.
It sounds so dumb, but it sounds so interesting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a chance, personally. Wand Dance. I know nothing about this.
Well, I've been the one hyping it up over here.
So 50-50 as to whether it's good or not. Got it.
Okay. So give me a shot. Give me a chance, man. Okay.
I'm going to give it a chance. I gave Medalist a chance. I'm giving this a chance.
Okay, so let me give you some context. So I'm not going to be here like and say, oh, it's new Saga and shit. No, I'm not doing that shit again, man. Nah. I'm going to say, though, that if you like the interactions between Marin, Kitagawa, and Gojo from Dress Up Darling, but personally, in my perspective, I think it's done a lot better. It's a dancing theme, which isn't really my cup of tea, but I've read the manga, and I think how they handle the character interactions with them and the romance later on is really really well. I wouldn't say Fragrant Flower well, but it's just very wholesome and very nice to see a guy that is like handsome and he looks like this, but he's like very shy and timid and can't get out of his comfort zone. Basically, even though he does have like kind of all the attention. And a lot of people are comparing it to Blue Box and Medalist, which I think is very interesting because I can kind of see the Medalist standpoint of it, where it's probably going to be a hidden gem of the season, but I don't see it being that popular.
That was a lot of words when you could have just said it was a Madhouse project and I would have watched it.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's the only Madhouse project that they got this season, so
Japanese step up.
I'm kidding.
Right?
No, it does sound like it could be a good anime. I'm gonna give it a shot. I kind of feel like it might end up being that like sort of Medalist slot where it's something that's not everyone's like niche, but it's still a really good anime.
That's what I'm thinking.
Past the monster meat, milady. This seems like it's going to be a really bad like fantasy anime that I'm going to laugh my ass off for like 3 episodes at and then drop.
Yeah, I might wait for you to do a review or two before I engage with something called Past the Monster Meat.
Yeah,
come on, take a chance.
I'll pass you my monster meat, man.
That's where my brain went, and I was just like,
Yeah.
it's like I'm gonna wait for somebody else to give me some.
It says web, not a web manga, so that could be kind of weird. Anyway, Inexpressive Kashiwada and Expressive Ota. So I'm pretty sure this is I kind of have my eye on this because I feel like it might be something I end up liking, kind of along the lines of like a Haren-san. But like rom-com kind of stuff. Dad is a hero, mom is a spirit, I'm a reincarnator. This basically just seems like fucking Isekai Spy Family.
I'll probably give it a shot then. Glutton for punishment.
I guess I'll try it.
I'm gonna try it just because it seems like the kind of trash isekai that I need in my life. I'm a sucker for isekais, if you haven't been able to tell.
Oh, really?
Uma Musume Cinderella Grey Part 2. I liked Part 1, but I don't want to watch Part 2, to be entirely honest.
I have watched none of them, and none of your reviews compelled me to give it a shot. So.
Bro, same.
There's a lot of horse love out there, and it ain't me.
Yeah,
like Horse Girl just doesn't do it for me. I like Ogre Cap as a character. I thought it was like a really well done anime. It's just one of those things where like I watched it, I've had my fill. I'm good. Yano Kun's Ordinary Days. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. So maybe
if you like Shikimori, you'll probably like this.
I watched like 5 minutes of an episode of Shikimori.
Okay, that may not be for you.
Kingdom Season 6. I am not watching 5 seasons of Kingdom to watch this, so sorry, Biggles.
One day.
Yeah, like the first season's like 70 episodes or something.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, I tried,
One day.
and the animation was so brutal in the first season, and like Biggles is like, oh, it gets better, but it's like, I can't watch that much, like on that level, like it just, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Sorry, man. So
Banished Court Magician aims to become the strongest. This seems like it might be something I fucking skip.
Yeah, that sounds right up like your hate porn alley. So
my hate porn alley. That's a new one. A Gatherer's Adventure in Isekai. Sounds like some fucking trash isekai that I would watch.
Yeah.
Mechanical Mary. This sounds like a robot girl romance. So maybe. The Dark History of a Reincarnated Villainess. This is basically a chick gets reincarnated into the world of her own fan fiction, and now she has to live through all the cringe that she wrote. So I'm definitely watching this.
Did I count this right? Is this the third villainous anime that you've listed off so far?
At least.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the breakdown is literally only going to be villainous shows.
Biggles has a hard on for this season, yes.
Yeah.
So Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right. This one looks so stupid that I have to watch it.
I watched the trailer for it too. Yeah, probably an episode at least, but Jesus.
Oh, that's a title.
Check it out.
Holy crap.
What's the trailer about?
It's
basically it's a
cute.
vampire who doesn't know how to suck blood.
Yeah.
Oh
It's a
my.
cute movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, couldn't
But
have
it's
put blood.
titled,
Couldn't have put
yeah.
blood in that. Just
Right. Man, they're fishing, man. They're just casting bait. It's all good, right?
Jesus.
This might be my shoujo fix for the season, A Star Brighter Than the Sun.
Which one is that?
I don't know.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. This I am skipping, but Muffler Tape, you could probably inform Falkrin that his furry fix is going to get.
All right. I'll hook him up with this one.
Falcon.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is furry fantasy romance.
Mother of God. He'll make me
Yes.
watch it with him too. I'll just have my eyes out.
Except for I think the furry is a dude, so we'll see. This is ecchi, so I probably will end up watching this for the fan service.
Oh, this is the
Don't-
15-minute episode one.
Probably don't touch Kotasashi.
Yeah, I think that's it. Are they wearing like sports jerseys or something like
Mhm.
that in that
Yeah.
one? Yeah, that's
It's basically a dude who manages a girl's dorm that gives them all massages.
Gosh, yeah, it's supposed. I
Oh
think
my
it's.
God.
Yeah, the guy's like a sports doctor or something. Like he just massages these girls that are like the stars of like basketball, football, soccer team, swimming team, and it's just a haramechi. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Aonor Orchestra season 2. Haven't seen it. Nocia. I have no idea what this. Oh, it's a fucking survival series. It's probably like a battle royale sort of thing. Yeah, not interested.
Yeah.
Digimon. I don't care for Digimon. Sorry. A mangaka's weirdly wonderful workplace. Maybe I'll give that a shot.
If it's Fujimoto's, maybe, but no.
So, dude, the life of Fujimoto could be a fucking wild ass anime.
Oh, dude. Anyway.
Touring After the Apocalypse is a maybe for me.
Yeah.
Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider. Only if someone I know whose tastes I trust says maybe I should watch it. Or if I get bullied enough, maybe I'll do it. Let's Play, I'll give a shot because I've heard a little bit about this. It seems interesting. This is basically some chick moves in next door. So she's like a game dev or whatever. She moves in next door to the the game streamer who reviewed her first game badly.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's got beef with him. He thinks she's hot or something like that.
She's not gonna know who, or he's not gonna know who she is. She knows who he is. Blah 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 blah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Alma-chan wants to be a family. So basically you have two people who invent their own child instead of, just making one the normal way.
I will not support that.
Yeah, that might.
Yeah,
be
that feels like My Wife Has No Emotion. I don't know if
Yeah.
I really want to check that out. That's like some what is the term for that shit? Parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
Shabake. I have no idea what the fuck this is, and I'm probably going to skip it. Same with this next one. Plus-sized misadventures in love. Fuck no.
Nope.
The human bowling ball here can fuck right off.
Hey,
Sorry.
at least they made her an actual human bowling ball. We'll have to give them credit for that one, as opposed to the typical Japanese trope of it.
Yep.
Being
like,
a
oh my
girl
God,
like
I have a
10.
little
She's a
fat-
bowling ball. She's like 10 pounds overweight. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, she has
No.
curves. Like, you're like, yeah, no, she's not.
Plus size. I'm sorry, but it says Debu to love to Ayamachi. They're calling her a pig in the Japanese version. They're calling her a pig in the Japanese version.
And they made it
shit.
plus size. They really should have left it pig like that. Yeah, again.
Holy
She
shit!
does
The
look a bit
Japanese
like a
titles
pig.
are fucking brutal.
So there you go. That Crimson. There's your engagement on X if you ever need it. Just do actual translations of anime titles and just throw that fucking grenade out there, and you know.
As if me going after the light novel historian hasn't been enough to trigger and no one's responded.
Well, there's a couple of us that have tried to at least keep tabs on it. So,
Anyway,
but yeah.
I don't know what that is. Potion Wagami wo Tatsukeru. I don't care. Ninja versus Gokudo.
Yeah, that looked like it was like a couple thing, isn't it? Like, isn't it a guy as one and a girl as the other? Might have like some of that Spy Family vibe or something. I feel like I saw something about that.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
A lot of these have been like skips for me.
Yeah.
I might try this one because this looks like my kind of like brain rot humor. It's basically like a wannabe like supervillain kind of scenario.
Oh god. Okay.
Ganglion. I don't know any of these. So we have SIVIS, The Sound of Heroes. Yeah, oh, it's music. Okay, probably gonna skip that. I have no idea what this is. It just some like fucking bland ass dude who, and it says gourmet on it. Monster Strike, Deadverse Reloaded, no synopsis, video game, not very interested. And then we're kind of getting down into like a lot of like the like children's stuff here that I'm just not gonna watch. Record of Ragnarok.
That comes later, right? Isn't that one a delayed
December 25th? December, yeah. Twisted Wonderland is another skip. Star Wars Visions, I might get forced into watching that by Rolo.
Both of us, yeah.
Yeah. The Fujimoto anthology, you're probably gonna bully me into watching that too.
Well, fuck yeah, I am. That's gonna be awesome, dude.
The Fated Magical Princess Who Made Me a Princess.
What?
I don't know how to respond to that one. Bang Dream Chan. What the? Okay, we're getting into some fucking weird ones.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I don't know any of these. The Man from Dao Jiang Kun.
Yeah, it's interesting because
some of the Chinese ones are in there.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
summer was just chock full of bangers on like known IPs, and I feel like with the exception of like Spy, people not want to?
I might check this one out. Whoever steals this book seems kind of interesting, but that's a movie.
Yeah, but do you think they just didn't want to run up against My Hero and Spy Family, and that's why they crammed so much shit into summer?
Bro, nobody's terrified of My Hero and Spy Family.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know how Japanese television works. Like,
I believe they just released during summer because that's when people have the most time to watch.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
That would actually.
I think it also depends on. I think it also depends on time slots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Plus, there were only like a couple of like really big names that were out there. A lot of the other ones we picked up are much more niche ones that we like. Just our circle really, really loved.
Fair enough.
Like for example, Tales of Wedding Rings didn't come out with any trailers until season 2 until recently, but they got their time slot when they first released the second visual, I think, of it. And Freerun and Chain Soldier were going to do something similar, but because their time slots for those specific days were filled, especially Saturdays, I think they probably just move it to the next season. At least that's my thoughts.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Is Chain Soldier Winter then?
Yes.
Is that when that one's coming out? Nice. That's one I enjoyed quite a bit.
Me too.
Yeah,
man.
so like I've been saying, I'll probably use this upcoming season. I'm probably not going to be watching nearly as many anime as I did this season. Like I'm kind of curious to see how many I'm actually going to end up watching here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Some of them may end up drops and stuff too, but yeah.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23.
But what I'm doing is Tales of Wedding Ring season 2.
Yeah. You guys have convinced me, and I've seen the ecchi tag, and so I'm like, I think I will go back and watch that.
Yeah, that's another one. You will know at the end of first episode whether or not it is something you are interested in.
That's
So
legit.
Yeah, there are only, so as compared to there being almost 40 last season, there are only 28 that I'm considering watching, and a couple of those I'm already considering dropping, given the episodes that I've seen of them so far.
Well, season 2.
I mean, if you had actually shown that chick fingering herself, maybe I would have been more interested.
I mean, bold take, but I respect it. All right.
But the fact that they actually did cut to her washing her hands immediately after, that is like, oh yeah, no, how am I going to tell you I did something without telling you I did something? So, dear goodness.
Was that the Colossus Hero or the Dusk Beyond series?
That was the Dust Beyond.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they very heavily insinuate that she was masturbating to pictures of her adopted younger brother.
Yeah, and it just didn't help when they both kept saying, like, big sis, little bro, like...
Yeah. But hey, I mean, he took 3 bullets for her.
True.
He's woken up, like, I don't know, 2 centuries later, and she's gone.
Well, I wonder if the blonde girl is going to be the blue hair girl. Like, maybe she's like a robot, maybe like he's a robot. I don't know, man. Like...
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it's kind of it's in a weird place for me. So I may end up doing a lot of like catching up on a series that I have missed. So, I mean, who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
Well, if you hated Tales of Wedding Rings because of the etchiness, season 2 is going to be a lot more fight driven and action.
Oh no, I don't hate the etchiness. I just thought the writing sucked.
It does suck, but it's great. It's like Togenaki. The writing's shit, but I enjoy it. Dude, Togenaki's writing sucks, man. I know what you mean that it sucks, but I find it entertaining.
I mean, if you want to watch Car Crash Television, I mean, yeah, because again, I had it on today, and I barely.
There was
stopped
once a
watching,
time
so.
where I could force myself through shows like that. That's how I got through one season of Rent a Girlfriend. There is no longer any of that will for me to do something like that.
Yeah, and I've watched all 4 somehow.
What is wrong with you?
Apparently, he's a masochist. We should double check with his girlfriend and see if like they don't have like whips and handcuffs or something.
If I see you floating in a pool, imagining some stuff, sir, you're gonna have a rough time. Okay?
Bro, we gotta see that scene animated, man.
I want to see the reaction for people online for that scene.
Yeah.
Anime onlys. And then I'm going to laugh at them. I'm going to give them the Nelson.
Bro, just the fact that he's still getting cucked this late in the manga, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what the studio decided to do, but for whatever reason, episode 1, 5 minutes in, will be the cucking scene of season 5. They stopped right when it was going to happen in season 4.
So they cucked the viewers right before they cucked him. That's
Yes.
Help you empathize with Kazuya, yes.
Yeah. No.
There are going to
that
be so
makes
many
sense.
people dropping it though. Like the first episode, are you kidding me? Like, this is what I waited for? Yeah, no, it'll be good.
No, it's garbage, man. I hated season 2. I watched season 3 because a lot of people were telling me, "Oh, the film arc is the best arc," so I watched it. Still gave it a shitty ranking, and then people were like, "Oh, but season 4 gets better," and I'm like, "There's no way it does." And then I just watched it because it was the only Tuesday show I had, and then I'm like,
You're saying people, but I'm guessing that this is Mangoes who's saying this.
"Oh, that's 100% one of them."
No, I made it. I made it until I met
A
Crimson.
man of questionable taste.
And yeah, I had binged. Like I thought the show was pretty entertaining, and then met Crimson. He's like, the show's kind of shit. Don't watch this, or you might not be a good person. And yeah, and then I got leaks on X, and like I was like, oh, I neither want to be not a good person or continue this for like 4 more years. So yeah, I think I'm good.
No, I would never recommend this to anyone. This is like the modern age Boku no Pico, it looks like.
I got a great anime to recommend you. Yeah.
Boku no Pico.
Nah,
Okay.
man, I went to go read a little bit of the manga after the anime ended just to see what it was going to do next season, and dude, it's so dumb. And with that,
Yeah, and with that, we're gonna wrap it up for the night. So thank you to everyone who was around and who watched. Especially thank you to everyone who came on the panel to talk with me. This went way longer, but I kind of figured that was going to be the case if we have a bunch of people on. So thank you, Jeremy, Arceus, Muffler Tape, and you, Biggles, if you're out there, you turd, you bailed on us. I appreciate all you guys, and even you guys in the chat, Marcel. Who else was in here at the time? Rolando was here at one point. We also had a couple of other like random people who I've never seen before. So no garage. The way he was talking, that's got to be Falcon or something like that.
Yeah, it
talking
is.
about Falcon. He was talking about furry shit.
Yep.
I mean, Muffler Tape, you're here, so that is what it is. We also had JM the Elite Fan, Trans Noel. I have no idea who that is. I've never met that person in my life. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I appreciate it. Looking forward to next season where I am not talking about as many current anime and probably going back and checking out some of the cool stuff that I missed. Probably going to be pretty harsh this season and not watch a lot of like new stuff. Might cull like half of the ones that are already on my list. So
welcome to
who
the
knows?
club, man.
Anyway, thank you for being around. If you enjoyed this stream, please hit the like. If you're somehow new and made it this far into us talking, subscribe, damn it. Check out some of the videos and definitely comment because YouTube needs the fucking comments in order to push your videos out.
Yep.
That's some dumb stuff. But either way, have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will, if you're a regular fan, see you all on Monday on the Biggles Breakdown. Otherwise, Wednesday for Crimson News Network. And that all said, here's free.
Thank you.